Konoha. Hinata went to catch the thief, but I caught him. Chapter 31. Danzo. The iron pot is in hand, I have it in the ninja world. Looking at the team members lying on the ground and moaning slightly in pain. Under the moonlight, a black shadow appeared in front of Shion. Her heart sank instantly. Can't beat it. Dying. Azuki Shion still wanted to hold the short sword tightly in her hand. But at this time, she found that her arm was shaking non-stop because of the impact just now. She really didn't expect the white yaksha in front of her to have such strength. Faced with the encirclement and suppression of more than a dozen Anbu members, they beat them to the ground without any effort. What was even worse was the teammate codenamed Tiger. With a burly body, his head was held by Shiroyasha and turned back and forth in his hands. As a result, the tiger's whole body looks like a spinning top. Spinning and crashing into the next room. But what makes Azuki Shion feel unbalanced in her heart is the opponent is also a person with a sword. However, he didn't use any swordsmanship, and the whole battle process seemed to be subconsciously moving. Lift the knife, cut it, lift the knife again, and chop it again. The Konoha Ryu swordsmanship that Shiyan is proud of is vulnerable to the opponent's eyes. Konoha Ryu swordsmanship. Dance of Crescent Moon. Summon two clones to fight together. Unfortunately, it was defeated by Tsubai. What are you shaking? Is there such a thing as fear? Look at you, you seem to be the only female ninja among them. It's nice to grab back and replace Hyuga Hinata for cleaning and cooking. So don't worry, I'm using the back of the knife, your teammates are still alive, I don't want to be hated by my housekeeper every day. It would be bad if you serve me a bowl of poisonous food and let me eat it with a smile. Tsubai joked with a smile. I remembered the sentence. So, it's time to take medicine. But poison immunity, there is no way. Damn white yaksha. After Mao Yushian heard this, the pretty face under the mask suddenly changed. As soon as he frowned, a surge of anger couldn't help rushing up from his ribs. This is simply a humiliation to her. Wrong. It should be said to be a humiliation to their Konoha village ninjas. What's more, they are Anbu's ninjas. What does it mean to survive? Accept the reality that their mission failed. Let them live in the shadow of mission failure and be talked about by others. Or tell the outside world that the ninjas in Konoha village are a bunch of cowards. Then let me see what you look like under your mask first. Tsubai looked eager to fight. Through the mask, Shion seemed to see a trace of greed in his eyes that she didn't understand. Taking advantage of the moment Tsubai is approaching, Shiyan held Short Sword's arm and forced herself to raise her strength. Go to hell, White Yasha. With such a close distance, the other party had no chance to react. But when Azuki Shion shot, Tsubai's back of the knife had already chopped on her arm. Shion was in pain, and the pretty face under the mask was slightly distorted. The short sword in his hand also slipped down. Next second, Shiyan only felt an extra pressure on her shoulders. Tsubai's black knife was already on her neck. Not bad, you have a temper and a personality. It's a good seedling. While talking and laughing, Tsubai directly took off the mask on Mao Yushian's face. Pause time. The air was quiet. Azuki Shion frowned and closed her eyes tightly. Being unmasked during the mission is simply a great shame for her as the captain of the Anbu unit. It's ugly, it's a waste of excitement. Tsubai put away the black knife in his hand, and ignored Shiyan who was sitting on the ground in a daze. Turn around and leave. Of course, Azuki Shion is still very beautiful. It's just that the current Tsubai doesn't have any reason to take her away. It is not of much use and benefit to take it away. Moreover, according to her character who stays in Anbu all the year round, she certainly wasn't like Hinata and the rest of the young ninjas. It would be a pity if something goes wrong and there is an extra suicide female corpse in the home space. Damn bastard. Azuki Shion cursed in her heart. Right now, she wished she could pick up the short sword on the ground and rush up to give Tsubai another stab. But unfortunately, in her current state, she is already unable to act. Maybe Shion never thought she was good looking. But being called ugly by others, as a female ninja's nature of beauty, is really unacceptable. Ah. By the way. Su Bai seemed to feel the unwilling roar in Shi Yan's heart. He stopped suddenly, then turned his head to look at Azuki Shion, who was slumped on the ground. If the enemy's ability is higher, then use quantity to make up for the gap in quality. The basic tactics that Master Shimura Danzo taught Anbu back then were excellent. But we have to divide people. If the enemy's strength is too much higher than yours, no matter how much you come, it will be for nothing. Su Bai still didn't forget Zhao Xian waved her hand and showed a kind smile. Goodbye, remember to put on makeup when we meet next time. It's a pity that Mao Yuxian didn't hear Su Bai's last words at all. That sentence from Master Shimura Danzo had already shocked her extremely. This information, the amount of information seems to be a bit large. Shimura Danzo. Thank you so much for the compliment. Chapter 32. Hiruzen. Danzo, IN-039, they given you enough face. The efficiency of Konoha village is quite fast. While Hyuga Hinata was in a coma, Sarutobi Hiruzen even sent the head of the Yamanaka clan. Yamanaka probed Hyuga Hinata's mind by himself. This investigation was very effective. From the first day Hinata was tied up to come back. There are pictures every day. But unfortunately, they don't know. Regarding the important dialogues and pictures that revealed the true information of Shirayasha, no trace was found. Everyone was busy late into the night. Hokage's office in Konoha village is still brightly lit. Lu Ju, what do you think? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the silent Nara Shikahisa. The only thing bothering them now is about Hinata being rescued. It always feels too easy. After being called, Lu Ju said, Master Third Hokage. Is it possible that Shirayasha did it on purpose? Otherwise, with his degree of caution, why did he suddenly appear in the place closest to Konoha village? As soon as this statement came out, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Yamanaka were stunned for a moment. But we still have to combine all the intelligence to speculate. Nara Shikahisa paused, and turned into a famous ninja detective. You mean? When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard this, his face suddenly darkened. Lu Ju naturally saw that Sarutobi Hiruzen was unhappy, so he didn't say it directly, but just nodded slightly. Lu Ju, are you suspicious of Danzo? Sarutobi Hiruzen's tone became extremely dull. Combined with the information brought back by Shi and Azuki, it really surprised Sarutobi Hiruzen. It's no wonder that Sarutobi Hiruzen suspects that this matter has something to do with Danzo. The main reason is that what Su Bai said is absolutely true, which is the most basic tactic that Danzo formulated for Anbu at the beginning. There is really no way, and it cannot be said that Konoha village is a bunch of idiots. After all, for Su Bai, he knew too much about what this group of people did and said. Well, as far as the current situation is concerned, Bai Yasha never had any contact records with our Anbu. He probably doesn't know our Anbu's basic tactics. Besides, the people in Anbu are very strict with their mouths, unless they have a strong ability of mental investigation. Having said that, Lu Ju sighed. These things are indeed too troublesome to think about. If it is said that this is a conspiracy against Konoha village, it is definitely not clear in 1 or 2 sentences. Master Third Generation. Right now there are only a few possibilities. 1. Shirayasha holds a grudge against Konoha village, and racks his brains to deliberately let Hinata back to do things that are harmful to Konoha village. 2. Shirayasha has a close relationship with Danzo-sama, but it is not clear why the two fell out, so Hinata was sent back to target Danzo-sama. Speaking of 3, Nara Lujiu blushed and stopped abruptly. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Lu Ju, what's going on? You said it. Under the aggressiveness of Sarutobi Hiruzen, Nara took a long breath, cleared his throat and said. The third is that Shirayasha was interested in it on a whim, but now he has lost interest in Hinata, and in the process, he just turned his goal on Shion. But Shion didn't seem to suit his inner taste, so he gave up. After a moment's pause, Lu Ju asked instead, but if he targeted Konoha village, why didn't he kill Anbu who attacked? The weirdest thing is still with Hinata being taken to watch the battle in Hidden Grass Village and go to the Colosseum. Speaking of this, Lu Ju's expression became extremely serious, and Hinata's strength has improved rapidly. Able to defeat a ninja using Boyle style. Hinata kept looking towards the stands throughout the fight, and I wanted to stand among those two figures high up in the stands. There must be White Yasha. So what? Sarutobi Hiruzen listened for a long time, as if he didn't understand, but he seemed to understand. Combined with the previous things. He slapped his head. Shiroyasha is training Hinata specially, and the person who will be released is Danzo. Well, that's the most likely possibility. Nara Shikaku nodded. Sarutobi Hiruzen is also very satisfied. All this will be a matter of course. When he sent someone to Cloud Shinobi Village, Hinata was killed by Shiroyasha in the street. Then he once again offered by Yasha a reward of 500 million taels. Sarutobi Hiruzen is very clear about the matter of crossing rivers and destroying bridges, and Shimura Danzo is very slippery. And no one knows better than Danzo that he wants to be Hokage. In order to become Hokage, Danzo even assassinated him. Now it's right. Sarutobi Hiruzen breathed a sigh of relief. Danzo wants to be Hokage, but he has lost power and can only find Shiroyasha from the black market. Kidnapped Hinata, who was out on a mission for the first time, in order to show the Hyuga clan. To prove that Sarutobi Hiruzen was a failure as a Hokage. It's a pity that Danzo didn't give Yasha the reward he wanted. After all, in Danzo's mind, can a wandering swordsman in the black market still use his brains? Instead, he crossed the river and demolished the bridge with one move, and sent people disguised as Yasha and Hinata to stage a scene of murder in the street. Forced himself to have to increase the reward for Yasha and chase him down. This caused Yasha to resent him. Kill two birds with one stone. In this way, whether it is Shiroyasha or Hyuga Hiyashi, both of them will vent their resentment on him. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a breath, and lamented in his heart that it was fortunate that he had given Hiyashi the face and actions he should have in the first place. Fortunately, Yasha is not an idiot. Yamanaka was a little puzzled and said, "Does Shiroyasha underestimate us ninjas? When I checked Hinata, I didn't find any mental shackles or any mental problems. Does he think that he can make Hinata obey him by intimidation? It is not important to say these now." Ever since Azuki Yugao brought the information back, Sarutobi Hiruzen has suspected whether Danzo has a relationship with Shiroyasha. Check out the complete incident and Shiroyasha's tone of taunting Danzo at the end. This matter may have changed from a cooperation between Shiroyasha and Danzo to a personal grievance between the two. Don't mention this matter again, tell Hiyashi about it. It's fine for Hinata to continue being her ninja, but stop as soon as she gets close to Danzo. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed and froze for a few seconds. He continued, "In any case, Danzo and Hinata are from our Konoha village, and they must not be used by Shiroyasha. We can't fall into White Yasha's tricks and have unpleasant things happen with Danzo. Danzo and I have been friends for decades. I understand his thoughts very well. You don't have to worry." As soon as these words came out, Nara Shirju and Yamanaka Hayi were a little anxious. Master third generation. Master Danzo, It's a pity that Sarutobi Hiruzen just waved his hand to signal the two to stop talking. I'll take care of Danzo's matter. Chapter 33. Su-bai. Damn it. My identity is so amazing. Stay until Yamanaka and Nara leave. Sarutobi Hiruzen stood quietly by the window. Enjoy the night view of Konoha village. After a long time, he sighed deeply. When people get old, they really don't need to be reused. As the third Hokage of Konoha village, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly felt physically and mentally exhausted. In fact, he knew that Nara Shirju and Yamanaka knew one thing in their hearts but didn't reveal it. In the style of Shimura Danzo, it is impossible to tell Yasha about Anbu's basic tactics. Sarutobi Hiruzen is also well aware of the duo's concerns. As one grows older, all aspects of physical energy will definitely get worse and worse. Once he is in trouble, according to the current Konoha village. No one can hold Shimura Danzo down. Haiyi and Lu Ju wanted to take this opportunity to find a reason for him to get rid of Danzo. After all, they do not belong to the martial arts faction. Of course, Sarutobi Hiruzen does not rule out the relationship between Shirayasha and Danzo. If there is really a relationship between the two, that can only show that the former Shirayasha was a member of the root organization of Konoha village. Anbu ninjas who directly serve under Shimura Danzo. But it's unclear what happened between the two that led to Shiroyasha's defection to Konoha village. And his purpose is to kill Danzo. Danzo's purpose is also to kill Shirayasha. So Shiroyasha wants to use the Hinata incident to let Sarutobi Hiruzen kill Danzo. Danzo also wants to use Hinata's affairs to let Sarutobi Hiruzen send people to hunt down and kill Shirayasha. In a word, Hyuga Hinata is the victim of a struggle between Shirayasha and Shimura Danzo. The more Sarutobi Hiruzen thought about it, the more he had a headache. If White Yaksha is not Anbu of the root organization, why is he so clear about Anbu's basic tactics? Even copied Danzo word for word. White Yasha. Sarutobi Hiruzen muttered to himself. Bai. Su Bai. This surname is really strange. Su. Li. Chen. Suddenly, Sarutobi Hiruzen seemed to have caught some kind of information. Master Chen, the master of gymnastics outside the village. And Rock Lee. Their surnames seem a bit similar. Could it be that? Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen was even more shocked. Could it be that Subai was really a ninja from Konoha village? Even if it's not a ninja, it should be a villager from the land of fire. This is all Sarutobi Hiruzen's own speculation. Of course, he can't be blamed for having such an idea. After all, when the root organization was established, they agreed. The root organization is managed by Danzo alone. There is no very special matter, Sarutobi Hiruzen must not interfere. Sarutobi Hiruzen really doesn't know who the root organization of Shimura Danzo used to be. Just like Tenzo, Captain Yamato, back then. A ninja who can use wood style. If it weren't for Hitaki Kakashi being bewitched by Danzo to join the root organization. Kakashi Anbu chapter, including storyline where Danzo assassinates Sarutobi. Sarutobi Hiruzen may not know until his death that there are ninjas who can use wood style in the root organization. The more he thought about it, the more blocked Sarutobi Hiruzen felt. If he ever really was a Konoha village ninja, wouldn't that be a big loss? Sarutobi Hiruzen's face froze slightly. According to Azuki Shien's description of Subai, his strength is indeed somewhat unfathomable. Facing the siege of more than a dozen Anbu ninjas, he doesn't even need to use ninjutsu. The dozens of Anbu were beaten to pieces by physical and sword skills alone. It's not just a question of strength. In such a short period of time, Hyuga Hinata's progress made Sarutobi Hiruzen even more jaw-dropping. This is definitely Subai's educational guidance for her. Whether it's for the purpose of assassinating Danzo or not, it's a bit too surprising an improvement. And that elusive space-time ninjutsu. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked back now and thought about it carefully. The identity of the other party is not a low-level figure like a wandering swordsman at all. Come on. Swish. Sarutobi Hiruzen gave an order. Several Anbu appeared behind him. Master Third Hokage. You guys should dress up now and go to the black market to investigate Shirayasha. And all the money exchanges. I want all the intelligence and information about him. The members of Anbu accepted their orders with awe. Disappear in an instant. Chapter 34. Neji. Coward. Go trembling. Konoha Village Hyuga Mansion. Hyuga Hinata has been staying in her room these days. Stay at home. And the mood is quite low. Hyuga Hiyashi didn't care much about this. After all, after experiencing such a horrific kidnapping incident, according to Hinata's timid character. If it's not like this, it's not normal. And in the recent time, no one can mention Shirayasha or Subai to Hinata. These words must not be mentioned in front of her, so as not to arouse her panic. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Hinata is depressed because she thinks Subai is dead. After all, The person who came to save him was Anbu from Konoha village, and there were more than a dozen of them. Miss Hinata. At this time, Hyuga Natsu's voice sounded from outside the room. She is a maid-like existence of the Hyuga family. Inuzuka Kiba and Aburame Shino have come to see you, and they are waiting for you in the garden. Hyuga Shaw gave a brief report. After Hinata came back, Hyuga Shaw was also ordered by Hyuga Hiyashi to conduct an internal examination on Hinata. Through the observation of white eyes, Hyuga Shaw determined that Hinata had not suffered excessive persecution from Tsubai. Physically, there are no problems or losses. The only thing that made her a little puzzled was the pattern engraved on her lower abdomen. When relaying this information to Hiyashi almost spit out a mouthful of old blood angrily. Damn Shiroyasha, for doing such an excessive and insulting thing to Hinata. It is unforgivable. But fortunately, it didn't reach that step. Hiyashi was relieved. It's good that Hinata can come back properly. What's more, I heard that she has also received special training, and her strength has been greatly enhanced. Although it may have something to do with the assassination of Danzo, Hiyashi is not very worried. After blocking all news about Hinata, he arranged everything, as long as she was not allowed to get close to Danzo. Squeak. After the door opened, Hyuga Hinata forcibly calmed down the sadness in her heart. Yes. There are still days to go, and she must cheer up and not forget the teachings of Mr. Tsubai. Miss Hinata? Hyuga asked tentatively. Well, I'm fine. Hinata forced a smile. He didn't say anything more, and walked towards the courtyard alone. Yo, Hinata. Are you feeling better? Wong. As soon as Hinata came to the courtyard, he heard Inuzuka Fang's warm greeting. Slightly nodded, she answered Inuzuka's question. Shino. Hinata's state seems to be completely out of order. According to usual words, Hinata will definitely call the two people by their names politely. But looking at Hinata, who was smiling but not smiling, Inuzuka is a bit of a muggle. In such a state, how to carry out tasks in the future? Can't team up anymore. Tooth, you can't say that. After all, Hinata is being Zeno. Inuzuka Tooth quickly blocked Shino's mouth. The two were not stupid, they discussed it on the way here. Must not mention that terrible name in front of Hinata. Unexpectedly, seeing Hinata, Shino almost slipped his tongue. I heard. Hinata was slightly taken aback, expressing doubts. What's wrong? But at this moment, a cold snort interrupted the conversation between the three. Inuzuka heard the reputation and looked over, but saw that Hyuga Neji, who had returned from the mission, had already arrived in the courtyard. That cold gaze made Kiba and Shino feel very uncomfortable. The number one in the previous session, Hyuga Neji. Looking at Neji's disdainful expression, Inuzuka Tooth's complexion slowly darkened. What is the attitude of this person? Who do you look down on? Well, for cowards, maybe a real name can make them tremble with fear. Just like the villagers who fled for their lives before, after hearing that Bayasha was not dead, they were too scared to even go home. Neji's words undoubtedly brought great shock to Hinata. But what he said was deliberately for Hinata. The purpose is to scare her. Even Hyuga Hiyashi said not to mention it to Hinata, but it aroused even more contempt in Neji's heart. Is it the eldest lady of the Zong family? Snort. You bastard. Inuzuka Fang really can't understand Hyuga Neji's arrogance. If you roll up your sleeves, you will step forward to fight with him. Tooth. However, at this moment, Hinata, who had no energy at all, started to move. Stepping forward, stopped the impulsive Inuzuka Tooth. Hinata, you get out of the way. I have to teach this arrogant guy a lesson. Snort. Hyuga Neji didn't care about Inuzuka's attitude at all. After snorting coldly, he turned his head and left immediately. Hey. Come back to me, you. Dear, do you still want Neji to come back and beat you up? Hey. Shino, whose companion are you? Akamaru. Wow, downcast. Chapter 35. After sending it back, it ran back again. Konoha village at night is very peaceful. Hyuga Hinata lay on the bed with eyes slightly closed as if asleep. But the next moment, she suddenly opened her eyes. Since hearing that Tsubai was not dead during the day, Hinata's mood improved a lot in an instant. Inuzuka Kiba and Aburame Shino thought that Hinata couldn't stand Neji's ridicule and pretended to be strong. But Hinata didn't explain too much to them. After a brief chat, he told them that they would return to the team tomorrow. Kiba and Shino didn't suggest her to be so hasty, she could rest for a few more days. Seeing that Hinata was so persistent, the two didn't say anything. The three chatted for a while, and the other went back. Blind eyes. Unlike Branch House's white eyes, which were once invisible from blind spots. Hinata's white eyes have a sight range of 360 degrees with no blind spots. There are people patrolling around the room. There are people outside the courtyard wall. After the observation, Hinata slowly closed his eyes. It's just that someone is constantly patrolling, although Hinata doesn't know what his people are doing. Fortunately, no one seemed to be watching her room with blank eyes. Thinking of this, Hinata covered her head completely with the quilt. With a thought, a portal was laid out on the bed. Since Hinata was sent back, Tsubai's small life seems particularly boring. The system also does not issue tasks. Bored, he can only come up with Jiraiya's masterpiece. The sequel to the Paradise series. Intimacy Tactics. I thought it was such a useful tactic. It's really like Jiraiya licking the dog. Tsubai threw the book aside. He said to himself, it's not as good looking as Intimate Violence. The voice just fell. Tsubai felt some subtle fluctuations in the home space. Accompanied by space distortion, the purple-black portal appeared. Hyuga Hinata popped out of the portal lightly. Moment. The two looked at each other. Tsubai. It was so hard to send you back, why did you come back again? Is it possible that Konoha village has investigated something particularly weird and is going to have an operation on Hinata? Can't. Ah, Mr. Tsubai, you are not asleep. Tsubai. Hinata also didn't expect that Tsubai hadn't entered the room to rest at this time. This appearance seemed a bit abrupt. In an instant, Hinata's little face was rosy. Could it be that Konoha village sent you to assassinate me? Do you have to wait until I sleep to show up? Tsubai narrowed his eyes. This expression scared Hinata into a panic. No. That. In fact, it's just a little unaccustomed to it. Before leaving, I couldn't say goodbye well. And I'm not in a good mood. There are many things I can't figure out and I want you to help me answer them. Seeing Tsubai's face that was about to darken, Hinata thought of the scene when he ran into Neji today. This is an opportunity to talk to Tsubai. This reason seems to be quite plausible. I came here with my heart full of confusion and bewilderment. I didn't come because I wanted you. Then you can't come here casually, in case someone. It's just that Tsubai's voice was interrupted by Hinata. It's okay, I checked before I came. Only our Hyuga's house has an extra patrol team, and no one else is watching me specifically. It's over, little girl. If this goes on, the Tsubai in front of you will really turn into a Yasha in the middle of the night. Waving the long whip, Mr. Tsubai. Seeing Tsubai staring blankly on the sofa and not knowing what he was thinking, Hinata tilted his head and asked in doubt. Oh, what's the matter with you? Seeing that Tsubai didn't seem to regenerate her anger, Hinata finally breathed a sigh of relief, and told Tsubai what happened between her and Hyuga Neji. And what Feng said to her in the arena. This made Hinata feel slightly depressed. And I don't even understand why when I met Neji for the first time, her brother had a gentle face. Why did it become so cold after meeting again? Tsubai took a deep look at Hinata after hearing the words. Hinata's heart thumped in shock at the sight. Why? Tsubai muttered softly. He thinks Hinata is really looking for something to say. I did mention Hyuga Neji at the beginning, but if Hinata thinks she knows everything, it is really her brain. But Tsubai is indeed clear. That started a long time ago. After 3 ninja wars in Konoha village, the number of ninjas has reached an unprecedented low. Iwagakure tore up the newly signed alliance treaty with Konoha village before the 4th Hokage succeeded, and waged war on Konoha village. This small but long-running war continued until the fourth Hokage came to power. Until the fourth Hokage sealed the Nine-Tails demon fox and died in battle, Konoha village suffered a huge loss of ninjas. And then it's your third birthday. Hyuga Hinata just wanted to ask, but she didn't expect that Tsubai knew so much. Even how the fourth Hokage of their Konoha village was sacrificed is so clear. Hyuga Neji should have met you for the first time on your third birthday. And in his heart, he thought you were cute at the beginning. Hinata. There is nothing wrong with this sentence. It's like when Hinata first met Neji, Neji looked at him with tender eyes. And after Cloud Shinobi village came to Konoha under the guise of signing an alliance treaty with Konoha village. Signing the alliance treaty is false, but kidnapping you is true. After your father found out, he shot and killed that Cloud Shinobi in the street. But the other party took advantage of Konoha village's serious injury and proposed to launch a war if you don't surrender, forcing you to surrender your father who killed the messenger of Cloud Shinobi. Result. As a result, Neji's brother's father died instead of my father, right? It is impossible for Hyuga Hiyashi to tell Hyuga Hinata about such things. But a living person suddenly disappeared. Contact Hinata, and you can still smell the cause and effect between them. But isn't our Konoha village the strongest ninja village among the 5 major ninja villages? Hinata's expression was slightly sad. She didn't understand why the other party asked to surrender, and the Konoha village was about to surrender their own uncle who looked the same as her father. Which family is the strongest in your Konoha village? Hinata was taken aback by Tsubai's rhetorical question, and then showed pride and shyness. Yes, it's our Hyuga clan. Who told you that? Hinata put her small hand near her mouth, and was slightly taken aback. My father warned us, let us remember that the Hyuga family is the strongest family in Konoha village. Tsubai. Okay. Even if Konoha village is the strongest, it won't be able to withstand years of fighting. Besides, no one has the strength to become a village of the 5 great ninja villages. Tsubai didn't explain much to Hinata. In fact, the truth is the same, whoever does not promote their own things is better. Just because Neji's father is from a branch house, he will die instead of your father. It made him angry. When Tsubai said this, he paused for a few seconds. After thinking for a moment, he continued. Of course, what makes him feel contemptuous is, as the eldest lady of the Zong family, you are born with a soft-boned appearance. What makes him even more angry is that your sister has replaced you as the future patriarch of the Hyuga clan, but you have not been engraved with the seal of the clan controlling the branch house. Boom. Hyuga Hinata felt his mind go blank. Tsubai's words obviously overturned her cognition. She is aware of the curse mark on the branch house. The Zong family can take the life of the branch house at any time according to the restraint of the curse seal. And once the people in the branch house die, this spell can instantly destroy Bayan, so as to prevent Bayan from wandering outside. But she is a member of the clan, why should she be engraved with this curse seal? Tsubai ignored Hinata's bewildered expression. He still said indifferently, your father and Neji's father are biological, so why should Neji's father be engraved with a curse? It's all the same. It can only be said that your father Hyuga Hiyashi favored you out of selfishness. Chapter 36. Hurry up. Dawn and Hash 039. Come if you have nothing to do. Picture. 5-inch nails, close black lens bracket. After listening to Tsubai's explanation, Hyuga Hinata sat motionless on the sofa. Originally, she always thought that she didn't attract her father's love at all. But I didn't expect it to be like this. No wonder Neji always treats her with that look of disdain. His father died protecting the Hyuga clan. But his father is still very strict with Neji. Hinata still clearly remembers that when Neji was training with him, it was because of the murderous look in his eyes. Neji, who was restrained by Hyuga Hiyashi with the mark of branch house, lay on the ground and howled. He even yelled at Neji. This is the difference between the main family and the branch house. It's a pity that Hinata can't live up to it and can't bear the banner of the Hyuga clan. Hiyashi had no choice but to give up and chose her sister Hyuga Hanabi. Even so, the people of the Hyuga family still treat her as a young lady. Compared to Neji and his father, Hyuga Hinata is indeed a special existence among the Hyuga clan. This is really unfair to Neji. So, you have to show confidence. Tsubai didn't care about Hinata's sad mood. He suddenly laughed and said, I heard from the gossip that your Konoha village will start the Chunin exam soon. That's when you express yourself. Remember, you must believe in yourself. After all, you have worked very hard these days, and your strength has also been greatly improved. Tsubai's words are like sunshine suddenly blooming on a rainy day. Hearing this, Hinata feels like a spring breeze, and the unhappiness in her heart dissipates instantly. She blushed and whispered softly, That's Mr. Tsubai helping me with a secret method. You can't say that. This still shows that you have potential, but I have the eyes to know people. The little girl's words really came out of her mouth. Tsubai looked at Hinata with disbelief. Okay, it's time to go back. If you don't encounter special or dangerous things in the future, don't come here often. In order not to be discovered by the people of Konoha village, and then it will have a bad influence on you. Hinata was completely taken aback by Tsubai's words. Is this still the white yaksha who just caught him back then? Why do you seem to be starting to drive yourself away now? But, Mr. Tsubai, you know a lot. Hinata didn't ask Tsubai directly, but had an idea to start the discussion with other topics. By the way, stay here for a while. It's a pity that Tsubai smiled and said, It's nothing, they are all useless. Hinata. Damn Mr. Tsubai. Can't you see that I want to stay here a little longer? But on second thought, Hyuga Hinata's heart sank immediately. How can I hide Tsubai from my little thoughts? It seemed that the other party really wanted to drive him away. The nose is slightly sour. Hinata's heart seemed to be empty. An indescribable emptiness kept spreading in my heart. Silly girl, you are finished. He is pretending. Oh, right. Just when Hinata was a little lost, Tsubai's voice made her raise her head again. If you take the Chunin exam, I'll see it when I think of it. Be sure to perform well, I believe Hyuga Neji will definitely impress you. On the other side, the former site of the original root organization of Konoha village. In the dark hall, Shimura Danzo stands in the center of the hall. Sarutobi Hiruzen in a Hokage robe walked slowly towards him with a bong in his mouth. Hiruzen. Why are you looking for me so late? Danzo pretended not to know anything about it. His expression was quite calm. And Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't point it out, and smiled naturally. I want to ask you about someone. Taking the bong out of his mouth, Sarutobi Hiruzen turned sideways and exhaled bursts of smoke rings. According to the information brought back by Anbu these days, Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little surprised. Based on intelligence feedback, Tsubai, who is in the black market, has almost never shot at ordinary people. Killing is nothing more than nodding. But he rarely kills people. Even the bounty criminals he killed were all bounty criminals with several lives on their backs. Moreover, the bounties he exchanged for money at the gold exchange were all such people. Steady. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt like he finally understood the dissonance between Tsubai and Danzo. He knows Danzo well. As long as he finds a child with potential, he will definitely bring him into the root organization. And the mind control of this group of children through brainwashing. What Danzo's root organization does is ruthless. This is most likely the problem between Tsubai and Danzo. Tsubai felt uncomfortable with the root organization and wanted to quit. Danzo naturally couldn't agree. So Tsubai ran away, and Danzo was about to kill him. As a result, not only did he not kill Tsubai, but he aroused Tsubai's hatred. White Yasha. Danzo squinted his eyes and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Huh. You seem to know something. Sarutobi Hiruzen squinted at Danzo upon hearing the sound. Cut. The corners of Danzo's mouth twitched impatiently. I said that Shiroyasha was cruel, but I didn't say what happened between him and Hinata. Now that Hinata is back safely, you came to me for questioning. Hiruzen. What the hell do you mean? It's really a thief shouting, "Stop thief." Sarutobi Hiruzen felt disdainful. Danzo, tell me the truth, did you know Tsubai before? Sarutobi Hiruzen's face darkened, and his eyes suddenly became sharp. Look at his appearance. Shimura Danzo felt an inexplicable anger in his heart. Hiruzen. He roared. Single-eyed Luan. HMPH. Do you suspect that I betrayed Konoha village? But he knows the basic tactics you set up for Anbu, and the words are correct. Danzo. Are you sure you don't know him? I don't know each other, and I don't want to argue with you because of such boring things at night. I'm going back first. Hiruzen, do what you want. Ruthlessly leaving a word, Danzo turned around and was about to leave. But Sarutobi Hiruzen's voice still sounded from behind him. It would be a shame if he was our Konoha village ninja. Hearing this, Danzo stopped, but didn't look back. I thought so too, but unfortunately he didn't. Chapter 37. The coming Chunin exam. In the Konoha village Hokage office. That's probably what happened. We were attacked by Momochi Zabuza when we were carrying out the mission of the Kingdom of Waves. But there is no danger, the mission is successfully completed. The bridge in the Land of Waves has also been successfully built. A half-hidden ninja with silver hair smiled and reported the previous mission information to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Our journey went smoothly, and we didn't encounter the legendary White Yaksha, a well-known ninja in the ninja world. Konoha village copy ninja Hitaki Kakashi said with a smile. It's good that it goes well. Sarutobi Hiruzen stood by the window and looked at the three genin in the distance. Although it is a bit discordant, it is also in Sarutobi Hiruzen's arms. For example, when a boy grows up, he will be attracted by the girl next to him. Then there is a healthy rivalry between the two teenagers. This is why Sarutobi Hiruzen arranged 2 men and 1 woman to form a 3-person team. Okay. I understand the general situation. Recently let Naruto, Sasuke and the others practice independently, or arrange some D-level tasks to do. Sarutobi Hiruzen was habitually smoking a pipe, turned around and sat back on the chair. As soon as this remark came out, Hitaki Kakashi was taken aback. According to Naruto and Sasuke's performance, they can actually take on some simple C-level tasks. After all, thinking of Momochi Zabuza and Shiro, Hitaki Kakashi couldn't help feeling a little pity. But the result is good. Regardless of Naruto's strength or perception of feelings. It's an inspiration full of positive energy. Ho ho ho, Kakashi. It's not what you think it is, you see. After Sarutobi Hiruzen laughed heartily, he handed the copy on the table to Hitaki Kakashi. Chunin exam. Isn't it too early for them? Hitaki Kakashi was slightly taken aback. But Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head lightly and said, when you became a Chunin, you were not many years earlier than them. But Lord 3rd generation, we lived in a different era. Now Naruto them. Kakashi didn't continue. They were born in an era of constant wars, and the things they came into contact with were different from these ninjas. The mentality is naturally different from them. For example, the current ninjas are only shocked when they hear about the war or feel sad for the people back then. But Kakashi and the others, at that time, only thought about how to complete the task perfectly, even if they risked their lives. But seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen's serious look, Kakashi replied lightly, I understand. Ah, very good. Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled in satisfaction. He likes Hitaki Kakashi a lot. Not only a genius, but the most important thing is that Kakashi went from sunlight to darkness, and after being baptized, he returned to sunlight again. Kakashi is much stronger than Asuma. At least in Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart, Kakashi knows himself better than Asuma. This report will be distributed to Sunagaku and other surrounding shinobu villages. It's been a long time since the joint Chunin exam was held. It's time to investigate the strength of ninja villages in various countries. By the way, we also want to show the outside world the strength of our Konoha village ninjas. When Kakashi heard this, he smiled sarcastically. 3rd generation adults don't have to worry so much. Now in a peaceful age, there is no such tension. Oh. Ha ha ha. Sarutobi Hiruzen was taken aback when he heard this, and put down the bong with a smile. After pondering for a while, he asked, Kakashi, when you were under Danzo, did you observe any defection or? What he said made Kakashi a little confused. Can the people under Lord Danzo still defect? This is completely impossible. The mental brainwashing of root organization members is very serious. I really don't know about this, after all, Master Danzo's means. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded in Kakashi's words, yeah. Also. Sarutobi Hiruzen certainly considered this question. But according to Yu Hahong's report, Subai seems to be immune to her illusion. That is to say, Ming Subai's spiritual power is far superior to that of Yu Hahong. Danzo's mental brainwashing probably didn't do much for him either. Isn't it really? Sarutobi Hiruzen thought to himself. He also asked many ninjas who had served as Anbu in the root organization. It's a pity that everyone's answer is the same. No rebellion at all. Let's not talk about this. I plan to take the joint Chunin exam on July 1st next month. There are still 16 days left, let's stay in the village for now. Chapter 38. The Night of the Moon. Bang bang bang. There was the sound of wooden knives clashing among the trees in Konoha village. Moonlight Gale with a pale face really doesn't understand. Why is Azuki Shion attacking so viciously today? He waved the wooden knife in his hand wantonly. It's like venting the anger in my heart. The two long knives collided for the final time in the air. The two wooden knives all broke because the blades couldn't bear the back and forth resistance. Shion. Cough cough. Moonlight Galawind coughed habitually. What's going on here? Azuki Shion threw away the handle of the knife in her hand, and her red lips trembled a few times. She took a long breath. It's okay, I feel much better. Since being humiliated by Subai, Azuki Shion, the captain of the Anbu team, felt more and more blocked. She is a member of Konoha village Anbu who has experienced countless lives and deaths. And all the time, she is also recognized by her peers through excellent swordsmanship and deep perception skills. So Shi Yan thinks that she is pretty reliable, not to mention that she usually works hard to train swordsmanship when she is free. It's a pity to face the encirclement and suppression of more than 10 Anbu members including her. Subai actually beat them up like coaxing children. While no one was killed, those with serious injuries are still being treated at Konoha Village Hospital. Why? After a long silence, Shion finally let out a sigh. She looked at Moonlight Gale on the opposite side. In fact, in terms of strength, she couldn't even surpass Gale. There is not much difference in swordsmanship between the two, but Moonlight Gale has abilities that are different from ordinary people. Through escape. It can make your body transparent, which is very useful in battle. I can't even surpass Gale, maybe it's really not enough in Shiro Yasha's eyes. However, at this moment, an old man with a pot on his back came out of the forest. Seeing the two, the old man frowned and said with a smile, "So it's you two, who did I think it was? Practicing swordsmanship is still so violent. Senior Kosuke." When the two saw the person coming, they smiled awkwardly. Kosuke Maruhoshi. A Konoha village genin in his 50s. Don't look at the old man Gyugia as genin, but his strength is very high. Have studied water style of second Hokage. Also taught shuriken shadow clone technique by third Hokage himself. Of course his strongest is swordsmanship. Moreover, Kosuke Maruyoshi can also use Konoha Ryu swordsmanship together with illusion. Hey, don't be impatient in your practice. Gyugia came to Shi Yan's side with the iron pot on his back. Would you like to have a meal together? My soup is delicious. Oh, that's how it is. Among the woods, the three of them sat cross-legged on the ground. After listening to Azuki Shion's answer, Kosuke Maruhoshi showed a suddenly realized expression. Although Anbu's tasks are generally not made public to outsiders, it's just that the rescue of Hinata is not a very confidential task. What's more, there were rumors that Hinata was brutally killed in the street before. Maoyu Shion simply vented all the bitterness. I don't want to fail again in the future. That's why I asked Senior Gyujia to guide me in swordsmanship. Shi Yan put down the bowl and chopsticks in her hands, and sincerely asked. This. When he got here, Maruyoshi Kosuke showed a difficult expression. It's not that I don't want to teach you, it's just that I'm afraid that teaching you won't be very useful. Gyujia's words exceeded Xian and Gaifeng's expectations. Why did Senior say that? Cough cough. Moonlight Gale coughed a few times and asked with a puzzled expression. After all, I was defeated by Brother Subai a long time ago. And it's a one-hit kill. Ha 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 ha. It's quite embarrassing to say. Azuki Xian. Moonlight Gale. Senior Kosuke. You. Azuki Xian's pretty face twitched slightly, and the unbelievable look on her face made Gyujia rub his head in embarrassment. I'm sorry, Shi Yan. Old man, I can't help you. But it's fun to recall the earlier part. It happened that he broke the legs of some Cloud Shinobi village ninjas during the mission. Seeing that my old man was carrying a pot, I borrowed it and made some soup. I have to say that Brother Subai's cooking skills are still very good. Xian. Looking at Kosuke Maruhoshi's expression of enjoyment. Shi Yan's face darkened, and she complained, Senior, are you praising him? Sorry, people always like to recall some interesting things when they get old. After dinner, when Brother Subai was about to leave, I challenged him. After all, he is a wanted criminal in the whole ninja world, and I can't just watch him leave like this. But it's a pity, just when I was about to use Konoha Ryu. Willow. Konoha Ryu. Willow. Azuki Xian knew this trick. Logically speaking, this move is a type of Konoha-style swordsmanship. It is a kind of ninjutsu that combines swordsmanship and illusion. No need to seal, close combat. First cast swordsmanship at the enemy, and then cast an illusion to make the enemy appear to disappear into the leaves dancing in the wind. At the same time, it restrains the enemy so that it cannot move, and launches a sudden attack from the enemy's blind spot to kill the opponent. It is a deadly move capable of killing an enemy in one hit, as fast as lightning. But I saw Brother Subai swiping his black knife, and 7 Shadow Clone jumped out of midair behind him. When I realized it, there were already 7 black knives around my neck. Speaking of this, Gyujia's expression slowly became dignified. Then he smiled embarrassingly, but he still walked away and spared the old man's life, haha. So, Xian, you don't have to worry too much about the failure of this mission. 7 Shadow Clone, plus the main body. There were 8 people in total. As for his own Konoha-style swordsmanship, Dance of the 3 Suns and Moons, there are only 3 people. The gap between the sword skills. Azuki Xian didn't dare to think any further. Sitting slumped on the ground, he laughed at himself in his heart. I still want to teach him a lesson next time. How stupid. Chapter 39. Looking for the legendary fat sheep. Sarutobi Hiruzen is really caring about Subai. Recently, I don't think about food or tea, so I just want to get all the information about Subai. Even Old Monkey occasionally hallucinates that Subai is originally a Konoha village ninja. But all of this, Subai is not clear at all. At this time, he was in a daze listening to strange sounds in the courtyard. Come alive. Open black lens bracket master, please ask my image spokesperson to feed me, close black lens bracket. This system also has a translator for cow language. Early in the morning, Subai was awakened by the sound of a cow in his home space. When I came to the courtyard, I realized that I didn't know when. There is a black and white flower calf in the backyard of the home. Identified. This is a cow. Female calf. Will be able to produce fresh milk in the future. But it is still too young and needs to be fed. The feed is in the warehouse next to the stall. It's just that it doesn't eat what Subai feeds it, and it has to ask its owner to find a spokesperson for it to feed it. The only reason why I don't eat Subai's food seems to be because I don't want to make it hard. After all, the feeding time is 7 days. After 7 days, the calf will be able to eat by itself, and after another 7 days, it will be able to produce fresh milk. Of course, Subai can't do the milk collection. Moo. Please ask the master to find someone who fits the image of this cow to feed me. Of course, the stronger and bigger, the better the image. Close black lens bracket. Su-bai. Turn on the system again. Su-bai also found that there was an extra calf in the courtyard. He also added an optional task. The so-called optional task is to do it if you want to do it, and it doesn't matter if you don't want to do it. Mission. Fight Orochimaru in the Forest of Death during Musha's joint Chunin exam. Close black lens bracket. After knocking it back, you will be rewarded. Close black lens bracket. Reward. 10-fist sword Hokage ninja version. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This task is optional, you can do it or not. Close black lens bracket. 10-fist sword. Su-bai knows this sword. The sake flying out of the gourd takes the shape of a sword, which is the 10-fist sword, also known as the Shukari Tadao. It is a kind of Kusanagi sword that puts the person it stabs into a dreamlike illusion world, and also has the power to seal them permanently. The knife itself also contains sealing techniques. Isn't that guy Orochimaru having a hobby of collecting Kusanagi swords? Su-bai smiled inwardly. Orochimaru is aware of the existence of the 10-fist sword. According to Black Zetsu's words, in order to find the 10-fist sword, Orochimaru ran all over the ninja world. In the end, the 10-fist sword was not found either. But he didn't expect that the 10-fist sword exists in Uchiha Itachi's pupil power. Close your eyes. Su-bai felt the 10-fist sword in the spiritual world. An orange gourd, the spilled wine turns into an orange sword. Swords and gourds themselves have no substance. It is formed by chakra. Moo. Open black lens bracket please, close black lens bracket. Okay, stop barking, let me think about it first. Actually from the beginning. Su-bai is thinking about this so-called image spokesperson. The target has two people. One is Samui from Cloud Shinobi Village. The second is Sanin of Konoha Village, the legendary fat sheep Tsunade princess. The powerful strength of these two people is naturally between brothers. But the question is how easy it is to catch. Samui is more troublesome. She's been in Cloud Shinobi Village after all. Although Tsunade is currently traveling around the world, it is relatively simple to investigate her whereabouts. Of course there is another key question. Samui is cold and difficult to get along with. Coupled with the festival between Su-bai and Cloud Shinobi Village, I am afraid that if you come, you will be splashed with blood on the spot. White is busy. Actually, Ying from the Soil Spider family is also pretty good. Su-bai muttered to himself and sighed. Why? There are really too many people in the ninja world. It is simply dazzling. I haven't noticed it before, but as I get older, these guys get better and better. Could it be related to their profession? Ninja. Cool. Boom. The wine glass in the hand of the black market horse boy slammed on the table. This beat. Immediately, the space around him was distorted. Immediately, Su-bai slowly walked out from the portal. Huh. Master Shiroyasha. The black market horse boy was startled, quickly put down the wine glass in his hand, and stood up quickly. The legendary fat sheep. Su-bai left a few wads of money casually, and was about to leave when a black market boy said in a panic. Master White Yasha, I just came back from the other country 2 days ago, and I met the legendary fat sheep on the street. If you go to the other country now, you may be able to find her. She should be in the casino in the other country. Hearing this, Su-bai didn't say much, and left directly through the portal. Hey! This money is earned. Several people were so greedy that they collected the money. You didn't lie, did you? Are you crazy? Do I dare to lie to buy Yasha? It's not like we haven't helped him find the legendary fat sheep. Of course I know that woman. Are you sure she is really in that country? Before the country of he, it was the country of he. That country of this was destroyed in. Shish. Don't talk nonsense. But I don't know what Bayasha wanted to do with that woman this time. I heard that the two of them had a bad fight last time. It's none of our business, as long as you're right. If he can't find anyone, we'll be miserable. Don't worry, if I lie to anyone, I dare not lie to him. 800 million taels is enough for us to die thousands of times. Chapter 40. When I don and hash 039, no, you have hemophobia. Open black lens bracket picture. Close black lens bracket. His country. In a room. Su-bai stood quietly by the window, looking at the casino in the distance. Two horsemen who had been in the black market of the other country for a long time brought him out. Long light yellow hair, often combed into a large ponytail, with a bluish-purple mark of the 100 healings mark on his forehead. A tea-green gown with black edges, a loose sleeveless top similar to a kimono, a black cloth belt around the waist, and dark blue cropped trousers underneath. Especially that figure. Who would it be if it wasn't Tsunade? Besides Tsunade, there is a female ninja with a vigilant look holding the fan pig. It is Shizune who has been practicing beside Tsunade. Seeing Tsunade and Shizune walking towards the hotel following the black market horse boy, Su-bai got up and sat back on the sofa. He had expected this result a long time ago. After all, the two had conflicts before, and according to Tsunade's temperament, as long as he met himself, it would not be finished if he didn't beat himself to death. It depends on how to talk about feeding calves. If this task can be completed before the Chunin exam, Hinata has to blow Neji's head off. Su-bai thought in his heart. It stands to reason that fresh milk can also be regarded as a new ingredient from the homeland. Drinking Hyuga Hinata is like taking strawberries before. It belongs to a new type of food material, and the rewards obtained will naturally not decrease. If he can't beat Neji anymore, Su-bai himself will feel extremely ashamed. If I meet Hinata again in the future, I will only be served by an iron rod. Shiroyasha-sama, Tsunade-sama is here. Ma Zai's words just sounded outside. Boom. There was a loud bang. The door of the guest room was smashed by Tsunade's fist. Su-bai. Seeing this, the two boys sat down on the ground in fright. In a few seconds, he slipped away backwards with lightning speed. Roar. It's really you. I didn't expect you to dare to come to me. It just so happens that the old and new grudges are counted together, and today I want your bounty of 800 million taels. Tsunade stepped into the room, and when he saw Su-bai sitting on the sofa with his legs crossed, his face immediately became gloomy. Bai Nen's fists were clenched even more. Stop. At this moment, Su-bai stretched out his hand first to signal Tsunade to stop. Huh. Do you have any last words to explain? Shizune. Record it for him. Yes. Master Tsunade. Su-bai. I have to say that Shizune, as Tsunade's apprentice, is really good at doing odd jobs. Coupled with Shizune's low-key and quiet character. Absolutely the best candidate for a good secretary. Ahem. I know the old hatred, but I don't quite understand the new hatred. I remember we haven't seen each other for a long time, Master Tsunade. Although Su-bai was puzzled, his face was still calm. Long ago, he and Tsunade had indeed met in a casino somewhere. Tsunade, one of the Konoha village Sanin, doesn't think much of him at all. It's just a bounty. Does it have something to do with Tsunade? It's not Konoha village or other ninja villages. Even if the bounty is high, Tsunade will not catch it. After all, this is related to her Mingwang issue. If outsiders know that she, as one of the Sanin, is going to catch the bounty criminal, she will definitely be ridiculed. What's the matter? Could it be that you can't afford to eat? Even the legendary Sanin is going to catch the bounty. This will also have a bad effect on Konoha village. As a ninja, you can't practice well to complete tasks to improve the prestige level of the village, but for your personal livelihood and bounty hunters to compete for food. This kind of thing will make other ninja villages look down on them. It will also affect the outside world's judgment on the attendance rate and success rate of ninja village missions. So Tsunade lost a lot of money to Su-bai. He even owed nearly 10 million foreign debts to Su-bai. However, Su-bai is very generous, and he negotiated with Tsunade as long as the other party can take his slap. Foreign debt free. With confidence, Tsunade agreed. Result. When that palm was about to hit Tsunade, it turned into a dragon claw hand. This beam is also knotted. Shin-chu, don't you know about you killing the Hyuga girl? When Tsunade said this, a blush suddenly appeared on his face. Even Shizune next to her had angry flames in her eyes. It seemed as if the two of them were about to devour Tsubai alive in front of them. Haven't you been out for a long time? I thought you had nothing to do with Konoha village. Tsubai's words made Tsunade's chest tight even more. Saying this is like farting. Where is Konoha village? That was the village her grandfather built, and that was her home. Taking another 10,000 steps back, no one in the ninja world knows that Tsunade is a ninja from Konoha village. At best, Tsubai is just a bounty criminal. It is true that he does not take Konoha village seriously when he treats the ninjas of Konoha village like this. If Tsunade doesn't care about this kind of thing, he might be called like that when he meets other ninjas in the future. Okay, I think you should also understand the grievances between the two of us. Today you have to pay for what you did. The voice just fell. Swish. A piercing sound sounded. Tsunade threw her gambling top into Shizune's hands. Really white. The corners of Tsubai's mouth twitched slightly, and he said with a smile, I sent Hyuga Hinata back to Konoha village a long time ago. Bite people without knowing the information. You really hurt the heart of your gambler. Besides, you have blood phobia. If you really fight, do you think you are my opponent? Tsunade. Chapter 41. How can you get a tiger cub if you don and #039, T enter the tiger and #039, S den? When Tsubai uttered the word, hemophilia, Tsunade's and Shizune's expressions changed dramatically. The thing about Tsunade suffering from hemophobia. Not to mention outsiders, even Konoha village has many ninjas who don't know such important information. Only Konoha village executives or those Konoha village companions who were with Tsunade back then know. It is impossible for Konoha village to talk about this kind of thing casually. Master Tsunade. Shizune's expression changed suddenly, and he looked at Tsunade in shock. But Tsunade just waved his fair arm to signal Shizune not to panic. It's just nonsense. I don't know where you got this kind of out-of-the-box information. In short, the expressions of the two of you just now have confirmed that what I said is correct, hasn't it? Master Tsunade. Tsubai looked at Tsunade playfully. This kind of look made Tsunade raise his brows slightly, and his eyes were full of doubts. This kid. Tsunade changed his previous self-confidence and became vigilant. He took another look at Tsubai in front of him. She suddenly fell into confusion. I can't figure out where Tsubai came from. Why is this top secret information clear? Who the hell are you? What's the deal with Orochimaru? Subconsciously, Tsunade took Tsubai as someone related to Orochimaru. Orochimaru is the only one who knows that she has a hemophobia who might do something against the interests of Konoha village. Orochimaru is a rebel from Konoha village. What's more, judging by Tsubai's appearance, he is not a decent person. Forehead. I really feel sorry for Orochimaru. In the past, the comrades who could trust him with peace of mind treat him like this. Why don't you say that among the ninjas in Cloud Shinobi Village, there are guys who know your blood phobia? Tsunade and Shizune were taken aback by Tsubai's words. The brain went blank for a moment. Tsubai was amused by the stunned appearance of the two. You don't forget that you asked Shizune to help the Cloud Shinobi Village ninja take out the blaster from his body. It's so stupid, knowing that I have a phobia and still watching the operation on the spot. As a result, the weakness was exposed to the opponent. Fortunately, that guy from 4th Raikage is still a human being. Seeing that you saved his subordinates, he didn't attack you. Tsubai's words made Tsunade's face more and more ugly. Of course she didn't forget about it. At the beginning, 4th Raikage personally led the team to the country of Tsuji to snatch other people's secret arts. As a result, he was chased by a mysterious force hired by Sagino country. One of the subordinates died, and the other was planted with blasters. Even 4th Raikage was almost over. Fortunately, Tsunade was in a nearby town, and Raikage's men and Raikage himself were barely saved. Are you? Tsunade's pretty face trembled slightly. She thinks that Tsubai belongs to the ethnic group of that mysterious army. Those people are very strange, they belong to the existence that really takes people's money and people to eliminate disasters. A ninja known as a hunting ninja. Don't panic, I'm not. Tsubai naturally knew what Tsunade was referring to. But he just shook his head and said, if you have to say it, you can treat me as a different race than your ninjas. Of course I only know these things, and that also comes from the admiration for Master Tsunade in my heart. So I tracked down more about Mr. Tsunade. I remember that Master Tsunade used the transformation technique to change into his childhood appearance to deceive several black market personnel because of money problems. It is said that a gold mine was discovered on a nearby mountain. Shizune. Tsunade. Although the two were expressionless, their hearts were incomparably shocked. These things, Tsubai said all. They have indeed done it before. At the beginning, Shizune also persuaded Tsunade to stop. After all, such behavior is a fraud. Master Tsunade. At this time, Shizune suddenly leaned into Tsunade's ear and whispered, I have investigated Shirayasha before. He seems to have been having trouble with the ninjas from Cloud Shinobi Village a lot for a while. It is very likely that it is the information we got from the people we helped before. Tsunade nodded approvingly at Shizune's words. Tsunade does despise certain behaviors of Cloud Shinobi Village. But fourth Raikage isn't that big-mouthed yet. What's more, wouldn't it be more fragrant to hold this confidential information in your own hands? In order to facilitate the future war between Konoha Village and Cloud Shinobi Village, take it out and use it wisely. Moreover, Tsubai has always had a grudge against Cloud Shinobi Village, and it is very likely that he will use such information to sow discord between Konoha and Cloud Shinobi. Snort. Tsunade sneered. Should I be proud to be worshipped by Shirayasha? What I said is true. For this reason, I have studied painstakingly for a long time, and finally let me develop a medicinal material that can treat Master Tsunade's hemophobia. Tsubai smiled confidently. I think the strawberries in the homeland can help Tsunade solve such problems. After all, you can get rewards after taking it. If it can't even solve some of its own shortcomings, then it's still a system reward. Not to mention, it's just a mere phobia, and it's not such a complicated thing. So I hope Master Tsunade can come with me. If all goes well, everything will be resolved in half a month. Just as Tsubai finished speaking, Shizune yelled, Master Tsunade, don't listen to his nonsense. Shirayasha, Master Tsunade is an absolute medical expert in the ninja world, even she can't solve the problem, do you think you can solve it? You clearly have a conspiracy. Conspiracy. Hearing this, Tsubai raised his eyebrows slightly, and said with a light smile, it's not a conspiracy, but there is something that needs Master Tsunade's help. It's a fair deal. Of course you can refuse, but I must take Master Tsunade away today, and I have prepared all the blood. When Shizune heard this, her pretty face turned pale with fright. At her level, she doesn't have the confidence to take on Tsubai alone. Not to mention the state of Tsunade once the other party throws out blood. Shizune was just about to open his mouth to despise Tsubai's meanness, but was stopped by Tsunade. Since the opponent has already caught his own weakness, even if he refuses, there is nothing he can do about it. Tsunade looked at Tsubai. I have already made a calm analysis of this in my heart. If Tsubai really wanted to harm himself, there was no need to talk nonsense to her. Intimidation. Tsunade had a sneer in his heart. At this time, it is time to show the demeanor of Konoha Village Sanin. How could he be fooled by the bounty criminal in front of him? Want to treat my phobia? How interesting. But let's talk about the ugly things first, don't regret it after you cure my hemophobia. The reward of 800 million taels is very attractive. Tsunade chuckled confidently. Tsubai shrugged, saying it was okay, and opened the portal of the homeland by the way. Oh, are you asking me to follow you into your space-time ninjutsu? Hee. Interesting, how do you say that sentence? How can you get a tiger cub if you don't enter the tiger's den? Su-bai said lightly. But Tsunade rolled his eyes. You are a cultured bounty criminal. Shizune, you are waiting for my good news in this town. There is no need to report to Konoha village. After half a month, I will take you to the gold exchange to exchange for 800 million taels. Although Shizune knows that the current situation is very unfavorable for them. But it never occurred to him that Tsunade was going to follow Su-bai so brazenly. It's a pity that Shizune is still too tender. In a desperate situation, Tsunade certainly didn't do it voluntarily. But it's better than being shivering with blood and then being dragged away. Oh, Shizune. I've already bought this hotel. You can live there as you please. There is still some money in the cabinet, which is enough for your recent expenses. See you. After Su-bai said a word, he took Tsunade and entered the portal. Only Shizune, who was holding the tonko, was left standing there in a daze. Chapter 42. What darkness have you seen? Picture. The writing is quite confusing, the data is very poor. Say nothing, draw your sword, close black lens bracket. Tsunade, who had just stepped into Su-bai's territory, was a little dazed. Especially when she saw the gray world outside the gate, it was even more difficult for her to understand where she had come. He tentatively came to the door. Tsunade frowned. The outside is not so much the world, it would be better to say nothing. And the territory of this courtyard seems to be blocked by something like an enchantment. Can't get out at all. You can't get out. This is my independent space, and there is actually nothing outside. The only function is that when the courtyard area is insufficient, it will automatically expand outward. Su-bai hardly hides anything. He didn't think it was necessary at all. This kind of thing does not involve his secrets or cards. Even if the other party knows, it is of no use to them. Besides, there are also things similar to this different space. It's just that Su-bai's time and space cannot be cracked. Even people who have time-space ninjutsu or pupil skills cannot come to him. Uchiha Obito's Kamui space should also be uncrackable in some specificity. It's a pity that I don't know what he is thinking, and he will put the cracking method in the hands of the enemy. It's just that Su-bai's words made Tsunade's face even more ugly. Originally, she thought that she could take this opportunity to investigate Su-bai's background. But the current situation made her feel a little regretful. The decision seems a bit hasty. At the beginning, we should have found a way to retreat with Shizune while Su-bai was not paying attention. Snort. Tsunade forced himself to remain calm, pretending to snort coldly. It's really kind of miraculous. It's no wonder that with so many bounties on his back, he has been unable to be traced. So you have such perfect life-saving ninjutsu. Su-bai shrugged. He didn't care about Tsunade's seemingly sarcastic remarks towards him. Who can blame this? Is it to blame that Su-bai has such a perfect life-saving technique? Okay, no more gossip. Let's proceed with the deal as we said earlier. I will cure your hemophobia. You help me feed the cows for 7 days. After 7 days of feeding, wait another 7 days and help me collect fresh milk. Our deal is considered complete. After work, the rest of the time you can do whatever you want here. Enough drinking water. Wait a moment. Tsunade stared at Su-bai with wide eyes, as if he wanted to eat him up. Cow. You asked me to come to help you feed the cow. Is it surprising? Surprised or not, Tsunade couldn't believe his ears. She wondered if she was hallucinating. Don't you know how to feed the cows yourself? I was stunned for a long time. Tsunade finally came to his senses. Speechless, she only felt that there was an evil anger in her chest that made her unable to breathe. This kind of thing. It was simply an insult to her. Impossible, don't even think about it. I am a dignified Tsunade, how can I help people feed cows and collect fresh milk? Tsunade waved his hand and stared at Su-bai with glaring eyes. Mad at her. Trembling. Su-bai, however, showed no expression. All of this seemed to be within his expectations. As a ninja, you have done D-level missions before. I remember Konoha Village's D-level mission, isn't it to help people catch cats and dogs, pull weeds and kill insects? There are even farms that hire you to help clean up livestock manure. I think the workload and remuneration of the tasks I posted, as well as the treatment in all aspects, are much better than those of those people. Tsunade. Tsubai didn't care about Tsunade's angry expression, and waved at her. Come here. There are halls, kitchens, bedrooms, bathrooms and hot spring rooms in the room. Wouldn't it be nice to soak in a hot spring and drink a pot of wine after you're done with your work? If you want to eat something, you can make it yourself. If not, I can also go out and bring it for you. Tsunade was slightly taken aback by Tsubai's serious expression and gentlemanly attitude. She really didn't think that being a bounty hunter on the black market would have such sentimentality. Looking at all the facilities in the room, Tsunade couldn't help feeling a little moved. Snort. But Tsunade still maintains that high cold look. Even if the other party was able to cure her phobia, she gave herself so many small favors. But let Tsunade obey the words of Tsubai, the bounty criminal. That is absolutely impossible. This is Tsunade's inner self-esteem, which is absolutely not allowed. Actually, when I came here with you, I didn't intend to negotiate with you. Tsunade closed his pupils, and his eyelids lowered slightly. The serious expression made Tsubai a little puzzled. I just want to find out your details, so I can find a way to take you to the gold exchange. Hearing this, Tsubai replied lightly, and then looked at Tsunade. Sure enough, it's because I'm worried that my blood phobia will be embarrassing in front of Shizune. Tsunade didn't act in a hurry, and Tsubai didn't seem to be offended by her bluntness. I'll tell you one thing. All the facilities here are very strong. With your strength, you can't destroy even a single trace. Having said that, Tsubai turned to look at Tsunade. I won't say anything about feeding the cows here or collecting fresh milk. After the transaction is completed, I will naturally let you go back. And you can cure a phobia, too. But if you really have this attitude, sometimes, some things are more uncomfortable than death. For example, walking out of the room slowly, Tsubai pointed to the hole in the wall. That hole was made by teasing Hinata at the time, and I forgot to fill it up for a while. Although I don't have any props available, I can still use the holes in the wall to let you see the real dark side of the world. I want you to know why the flowers are so red, and what is cruelty? Chapter 43, Tsunade. I will do whatever you say, I am laughing to death. What followed was even more anger. By Yasha, you are courting death. The voice just fell. Tsunade was as fast as lightning, and the next moment he was behind Tsubai. A hand knife cut. Subconsciously, Tsubai turned his head to block. There was a strange sizzle sound in my ear. What a quick response. Tsunade's eyes were cold with anger. She naturally understood what Tsubai said before. Nasty guy. To be so daring, to dare to have such thoughts about her, Tsunade. It is courting death. Do you want to turn chakra into electrons to form an electric field and inject it directly into my nervous system? Tsubai was reminded of Tsunade's chakra attribute. Fire, thunder, earth, water, yang. The chakra on the hand knife just now should belong to the thunder attribute. This trick, Tsunade used to be used against Yakushi Kabuto. Yakushi Kabuto's nerves were paralyzed, and he could not move. But Tsubai's words surprised Tsunade. Why does this guy know his offense so well? Ah, this. How do you know this? Tsunade frowned even more. It was simply impossible for such a concealed attack to be seen through. I know a lot more. But let me tell you, you can't summon Katsuyu here. So, there is no need to fall out between us. I cure your hemophobia, and you raise my dairy calf. In our free time, we can also gamble while drinking. Isn't this little day beautiful? Why are you calling back and forth? Are you tired? Have a drink and gamble. As soon as gambling was mentioned, Tsunade's eyes lit up. Of course, this move was fleeting, and then the anger was still on his face. I have nothing to say to the guy who killed the Konoha village ninja. Hinata. Why? Tsubai spread his hands. You are smart, but sometimes you are really stupid. Then he took out a pack of red liquid. Look at that appearance, it should be the blood prepared by Tsubai in advance. You and Hinata don't both agree. If I really want to hurt you, I just need to wipe this thing on you. HMPH, think about the consequences yourself. Cut. Seeing the swaying blood, Tsunade's lips trembled slightly, and his eyes averted a little. Of course she knew that what Tsubai said was not wrong. But it is really difficult for her to be obedient like this. And the dog man in front of him seems to have no idea how to pity and cherish Jade. Tsunade was pissed off by being completely straight. However, when the two sides were at a stalemate, Tsubai took out a bright red strawberry. To show your sincerity, you eat this first, and it won't be too late to trust me when your hemophobia is really cured. Snapped. Tsunade grabbed the strawberry thrown by Tsubai in his hand. Taking a closer look, her eyes immediately narrowed into a line. Hee, are you kidding me? Do you think I haven't seen such a thing? Or do you think that I'm so poor that I haven't even eaten strawberries, and I don't know what the effect of this thing is? If this strawberry can cure my phobia, I will do whatever you say. Oh. Tsubai was taken aback by Tsunade's abrupt speech, and asked casually, servants also do it? Ha ha ha. Do it, do everything. You don't need to do anything with the hole in the wall, I'll get in by myself. Tsunade looked at Tsubai with a serious look on his face, holding his belly and laughing out of breath. There is even an unexplained ridicule between the words. I have never seen such an idiot. You are either crazy or crazy. No. It's a psychopath with paranoia. Okay Tsunade, why don't you laugh, bet? I don't need you to do everything, as long as you obediently help me finish these things according to my requirements. Tsubai shook his head helplessly. Woman. What a moody creature. Alright. No problem, I'm really poor, I haven't even eaten strawberries. I'm almost dying of laughter. I didn't expect the vicious white yaksha to be such a cute guy. Tsubai's words didn't get Tsunade's understanding, but made her laugh harder. He kept patting his thighs. Even. Trembling more powerful. Tsubai. I'm afraid this woman is crazy. Ahem. I'm going to eat it now. But you still have to bet. If it doesn't work, you have to send me back and pay me another 800 million taels, so I'll let you go. Tsunade forced himself to calm down. Don't think about Tsubai's bad jokes. And Tsubai also nodded after hearing Tsunade's conditions. This is a good sign. At least Tsunade didn't seem to want to kill himself. Although to a certain extent it was because she was holding on to her phobia, she was not confident of winning. But Tsubai is not worried. If it doesn't work this time, next time he'll go grab Shizune and force Tsunade to do the job. It's just that Tsubai's thoughts were not over yet, but the sound of the system interrupted his thinking. Open black lens bracket. Tsunade takes the first strawberry. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to Tsunade for receiving the award. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to Tsunade. Chakra's upper limit has been greatly improved, and the upper limit of physical skills has been greatly improved. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to Tsunade for getting rid of hemophobia. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host Chakra for a small increase in the upper limit, and a small increase for the upper limit of physical skills. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for obtaining ninjutsu. Healing jutsu. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 44. Ian Hasho 39. M so easy to cheat when you are an ant. Picture. Ningguang is really good. Close black lens bracket. In the hot spring pool. A beautiful figure soaked in the water. Tsunade's face was blank. Soaking in hot springs is like a corpse. She can't even remember how she soaked in the hot spring. Can it really cure phobia? As the ceiling of medical ninjutsu in the ninja world, this kind of thing is completely beyond her cognition. The method of testing is also very simple. Not long after Tsunade swallowed the strawberry, Tsubai tore the blood bandage in his hand and threw it all over her. The moment the pungent smell of blood slipped into his nostrils, Tsunade slumped to the ground. Originally, she thought that she would tremble with fright and feel powerless. But as time went by, she didn't have any discomfort at all. She even felt that her chakra was thicker than before. Clap clap clap. Tsunade raised his fair arm and took several shots towards his pretty face. The splashed water scattered to the side of the pool, and she let out a long sigh of relief. Huh. Tsubai, you really have a lot of secrets to discover. It's over. Even Tsunade is an old ninja fritter. Too bad she's still a female ninja. A woman's natural curiosity for new things is enough to make her eventually broken. Tsunade forced herself to calm down and stood up. She looked at the bloody clothes by the sink. HMPH, I have to do my own laundry when I come here. It's more comfortable to have Shizune by my side. After packing everything, Tsunade walked out of the hot spring house in a bathrobe. At this time, Tsubai had already prepared the meal and was sitting quietly on a chair waiting for Tsunade to appear. This guy can actually cook. Tsunade's eyes lit up when he smelled the aroma. She hadn't thought at all that a mere reward offer seemed to know life very well. Hurry up and eat, it's time for you to work, Tsunade. Just as Tsubai finished speaking, Tsunade's face changed suddenly. Luan stared. So fast. My clothes are not dry yet. It's a pity that Tsubai didn't let Tsunade go because of this, but cast a blank stare at her. Don't worry, there is no one else here. Calf is just like you. Tsunade. Before Tsunade's face was about to turn black, Tsubai immediately changed his words. I mean the gender is the same as yours. The barn environment and feed are extremely clean. The most you can do is sweat a little. Of course, the workload is very little. Maybe you can't even sweat. Just wear a bathrobe. Fart. Tsunade snapped off Tsubai's description. Is your gender the same as mine? Hearing this, Tsubai slightly raised his eyebrows and looked at Tsunade. Tsunade's brow revealed a trace of murderous look, but Tsubai saw some attitude similar to self-confidence. After a long time, he said slowly, please pay attention to your words, Master Tsunade. I'm a gentleman, and I don't do things like some people do. The implication is that I like to sit in front of the other party and enjoy it quietly. Tsunade snorted coldly after hearing this. She remembered the previous bet with Tsubai. God bless me, I almost became the servant of this dog man in front of me. But now it seems that Tsubai looks like a gentleman. Thinking of this, Tsunade expressed his doubts. Got it, but I have a question. You said that I need to feed it for 7 days, and after 7 days I have to collect fresh milk. I feel like you really look down on my IQ. Young cows are fed for 7 days, and milk can be harvested after another 7 days. Don't you think it's funny when you say such a thing? Tsunade sat down in front of Tsubai. This move caused Tsubai's eyes to stop for a moment. Then he glanced at Tsunade. Want to gamble again? If you feed for 7 days as required, and you can't collect fresh milk after another 7 days, I will still pay you 800 million taels. And you will be put back safe and sound, and you will not be held accountable. No wonder. If you can't collect milk, you can replace it here. Of course if you lose, then. It's a pity that Tsubai didn't finish his sentence, but was interrupted by Tsunade. No need, this is your territory, maybe this thing will be the same as your strawberry, it belongs to your secret method or something. There was an imperceptible smile on the corner of Tsunade's mouth. Sure enough, it was wrong to think that Tsubai was a gentleman. It's just that the dog man in front of him has a lot of tricks, wanting to let her fall into the dug trap step by step. I'm afraid I want to fart. Tsunade sneered, but Tsubai looked at her suspiciously. What are you laughing at? It's nothing, just laughing at the low-end methods of some people to deceive women. Tsubai. Chapter 45. Hinata and Hasho 39's strangeness, Kuroyuki and Hasho 39's suspicion. Another sunny day. At this time, Konoha village seemed a bit unharmonious. Hey, are you going to use a crow? Tamari of Sunagakur panicked and stopped him repeatedly. It's a pity that her younger brother Konkuro doesn't seem to take her sister seriously. Boom. With a sound, Konkuro placed the puppet crow in front of his eyes, intending to fight to the death with Uchiha Sasuke on the tree. However, a piercingly cold voice without any emotion came into everyone's ears. The guy who loses face to the village. The appearance of Gaara surprised everyone even more. Even Uchiha Sasuke, who was sitting on a tree, didn't know when the other party appeared behind him. Gaara. Faced with the appearance of Gaara, Konkuro, who was still arrogant just now, suddenly became incoherent in fright, and a little cold sweat flowed out on his face. This guy. When did you come to me? It's as fast as Kakashi. Uchiha Sasuke was equally horrified. As the descendant of Uchiha, the first graduate of this year, Sasuke has never seen a guy of his own age who has such terrifying strength. Listen to me, Gaara, these guys came here first. Konkuro hastily apologized and blamed Uzumaki Naruto and Konohamaru. Blame these boring Konoha village ninjas for chasing themselves down the street. Otherwise, how could he have disputes with them? Now it's frightening to be scolded by Gaara. Shut up. Kill you. It's a pity that Konkuro's apology was exchanged for Gaara's intimidation. The frightened Konkuro suddenly misfired and dared not say a word. Rustle. Gaara turned into sand, and when she reappeared, she was already in front of Konkuro and Temari. Let's go, we didn't come here to play. One order. Konkuro and Temari also obediently followed Gaara's ass and planned to leave. But, at this moment, Haruno Sakura rushed forward. Wait a minute, from the forehead protector, you are the ninjas of Sunagaku. It is true that the land of fire and the land of wind are allies. But the treaty should prohibit ninjas from entering and leaving the other country at will. Tell us your purpose, and we will. It's a pity that Xiaofenmao didn't say everything. Temari spread his hands, and said helplessly, is this the so-called darkness under the lamp? We have passes. Temari showed their pass to enter Konoha village in the land of fire and said with a smile, we are here to take the Konoha village Chunin selection exam. At the same time, Kurinu Yuhi's 8th class, Inuzuka Kiba and Aburame Shino were lying on the ground tired and out of breath. They haven't been able to go out on missions recently either. That is, special training has been carried out in Konoha village. He looked at Kiba and Shino who had fallen to the ground, and then at Hyuga Hinata who was still sweating. Yuhi Hong's beautiful eyes narrowed slightly. Is it really the same as what third Hokage said? Did Shiroyasha capture Hinata to give her special training? Yuhi Hong is naturally very curious about this kind of thing. After all, Hyuga Hinata is also in her name. It is a good thing to be able to increase strength. But it is also likely to be accompanied by certain dangers. I didn't expect Hinata to be desperate. Aren't you tired? Inuzuka Tooth turned over and sat on the ground, looked at Hinata who was covered in sweat, and sighed. Hinata simply responded and didn't answer Inuzuka's question. This made Inuzuka and Aburame Shino look at each other. Doubts also arose in my heart. What happened to the weak Hinata in the past? Such a desperate practice. What was it that inspired her? Could it be that she was bullied by Bayasha? Oh. By the way, Teacher Hong. Why do I keep seeing ninjas from other villages coming to Konoha village recently? Is there something wrong? During the break, Inuzuka Tooth expressed his doubts. It was just his words that made Hyuga Hinata's heart tremble. Increased the speed of waving. Inuzuka Tooth may not know, but Hinata understands. Before Tsubai told her that Konoha village will start the Chunin selection test soon. I think these ninjas are here for this. And Tsubai will also come to see Hinata's performance during the Chunin exam. This made Hinata extremely nervous, fearing that her poor performance would disappoint Tsubai again. So he practiced even more desperately. Even though she felt that this kind of practice didn't seem to bring her much improvement. After a while, our Konoha village will jointly hold a Chunin exam with Sunagaku. So many ninjas from other villages will also come to participate. I'm also considering whether to sign up for you to participate in it. But just as Yuhi Hong finished speaking, she heard Hinata panickingly say, sign up, you must sign up. Inuzuka tooth. Strange, how can Hinata steal my lines? Normally, shouldn't she be silent? Especially when encountering this kind of thing. Seemingly feeling that the atmosphere was not right, Hinata blushed and turned her head away. I want to prove myself through this exam. Oh. Hinata, I didn't expect you to have such an idea. Me too. Hinata's words made Inuzuka's eyes light up. Mr. Hong, if the Chunin exam is really held, please register for me. Where's Shino? Do you want to participate? Shino. Tooth, what you said is very problematic. We are a small team, and I heard it from my family before. The Chunin exam can only be taken in groups of 3. If I don't take it, neither you nor Hinata can take it. What? Shino's words made Hinata swallow nervously. Wouldn't it be the case if one of Kiba and Shino didn't participate? Fortunately, Aburame Shino is indifferent on the surface, but he is also a hot-blooded man in his heart. You all have to participate, and I will naturally participate. Because I don't want to be surpassed by you. Call. Hearing this, Hinata breathed a sigh of relief. His complexion regained his ease. But her performance was all seen by Shihahong. The more she looked, the more Yuhihong felt that something was a little strange. A bad premonition rose in my heart. Chapter 46. Miserable, Hyuga Hinata is about to be watched. Hokage Conference Hall. There is a crystal ball in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen, and standing opposite are Jonin, who is in charge of Konoha village, and teacher Chunin, who is a teacher at the school. There are also the proctors who are in charge of the Chunin exams. Exhaling several smoke rings, Sarutobi Hiruzen said, seeing the people gathered together, you should understand. Hitaki Kakashi was still pretending to lower his dull eyes. Is it already this time? Asuma smoked a cigarette. It seems that I have sent messages to other ninja villages, and I can see them in Konoha village recently. Yuhihong's face was a little ugly. She still has something about Hyuga Hinata on her mind. Judging from Hinata's performance, Yuhihong always felt that she knew early on that the Chunin selection test would be held. 1 week later, on July 1st, the Chunin selection exam will be held. Formally, as long as genin who has completed more than 8 tasks can be recommended to take the exam according to your wishes. Although you usually need to double the number of tasks to have enough experience to participate. Having said that, Sarutobi Hiruzen kept his mouth shut. He set his sights on Hitaki Kakashi, Asuma and Kurenai Yuhi. Then I scanned the other Jonin in charge. First of all, let Jonin, who will lead this year's rookie genin, come out, Kakashi, Hong, and Asuma. How about it, in this Chunin exam, is there any genin recommended for the exam? Sarutobi Hiruzen glanced at the 3 of them, then set his sights on Hitaki Kakashi. Kakashi, you come first. This is too obvious. Hitaki Kakashi naturally knew what Sarutobi Hiruzen was thinking. After all, the two had discussed in depth before. The longer the peace lasts, the more we cannot relax. What's more, Sarutobi Hiruzen's body is getting older year by year. It is really necessary to compare the level between the newcomer genin of Konoha village and the genin of other villages at this time. Kakashi, who usually likes to be late, now looks crisp and neat. Immediately said. 7th class led by Kakashi, Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura. The above 3, in my name, Hitaki Kakashi, recommend them to take the Chunin selection examination. Seeing this, Asuma immediately said seriously, the 10th squad led by Asuma, Nara Shikamaru, Akamichi Choji, and Yamanaka Ino. The above 3, in my name, Asuma, recommend them to take the Chunin selection exam. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded in satisfaction. But when it was time for Yuhihong, the straightforward and neat Yuhihong in the past was a little hesitant today. Read. Regardless of Shiroyasha's purpose, is our Konoha village afraid of him? Also, you have to trust your subordinates, right? Sarutobi Hiruzen saw Kuroyuki's worry at a glance. But this behavior is clearly bad. Some damage to Konoha village's reputation. This. Yuhihong was immediately discouraged. Sarutobi Hiruzen's words have come to this point, what can she do? Besides, the recommendations of Hitaki Kakashi and Asuma have left her no choice as Jonin. Squad 8 led by Kurenai Yuhi, Hyuga Hinata, Inazuka Kiba, Aburame Shino. The above three, in my name, Yuhi Hong, recommend them to take the Chunin selection exam. Just as Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded, there was another objection from the crowd. Wait a moment. Master Hokage, please listen to me. The 9 genins recommended just now are all my students in the ninja school. Although they have completed more than 8D level missions, according to previous regulations, their experience is not enough to take the Chunin selection exam. Iruka stood up with a panicked face. The Chunin selection exam is not like the ninja school exam. This kind of exam. But you really have to fight with your life. Without experience and strength, they can only become leaks and let the other party harvest them. Sarutobi Hiruzen heard the words, but did not make any statement. Hitaki Kakashi turned to look at Iruka. When I became Chunin, I was 6 years younger than Naruto now. His words were full of sternness. But in his heart, he thinks that Iruka, who has a gentle personality, doesn't understand the truth at all. Don't come out to make trouble again. Naruto is different from you. Do you want to destroy Naruto? Facing the resolute Kakashi, Iruka walked up to him angrily. However, Hitaki Kakashi said decisively, Mr. Iruka, they are no longer your students, but my subordinates. This sentence directly blocked Iruka from saying anything more. Seeing this, Yuha Hong also sighed lightly and did not express any opinion. After everyone left, she turned back to find Sarutobi Hiruzen. Master 3rd generation. Oh, Red. Seeing Kurenai Yuhi coming, Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled slightly and said, You want to tell me about Hinata, right? Yes. Master 3rd generation. Yuhi Hong paused for a moment, showing embarrassment, and finally said, Hinata seems to have known about the Chunin selection exam for a long time. I worry. Yuhi Hong's worry is also justified. She was worried that Tsubai would use Hinata to do something harmful to Konoha village during the Musa Chunin exam. It's just that Hong's information made Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes shine. Hyuga Hinata already knew about Musa's Chunin exam. How did she know? Don't think about it, Tsubai probably said it. So here comes the question, how did Tsubai know? Sarutobi Hiruzen stroked his beard. This question really stumped him. Red, are you sure Hinata knows? This. I'm just skeptical, too. Yuhi Hong's pretty face flushed slightly, she really wasn't 100% sure. But I watched Hinata's desperate practice recently, and I was even more excited after hearing about the Chunin exam. I'm afraid I won't be able to participate. It's like knowing ahead of time and having to show someone what the Chunin score is. That feeling, it's like a special desire for that person's approval. Yuha Hong really didn't want to say Tsubai's name. If everything Hyuga Hinata did was for Tsubai, wouldn't it be very embarrassing for her to act as Jonin? However, Sarutobi Hiruzen laughed when he heard that. Ho 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 ho. Isn't that nice? Good. After hearing the words, Yuhi Hong became angry. Master 3rd generation, what you said is wrong. Hinata is an innocent child, I'm afraid she will be used by Shiroyasha. But how can you be so careless about doing something that endangers Konoha village? Sarutobi Hiruzen. No, don't get excited and let my old man explain. I think you've also noticed the change in Hinata recently. It's true that her strength has increased a lot, but if she wants to be disadvantageous to Konoha village with her strength, it's still too far away. She just can't do it. If Tsubai really wants to use Hinata, he will show his feet one day. What we can do is to observe Hinata silently and wait until the time is right before making a move. When the exam officially starts, I will arrange the patriarchs of the major families in Anbu. Use the telescope technique to observe every move of Hyuga Hinata together. Having said that, Sarutobi Hiruzen paused for a few seconds, and continued, Oh. Come along with you when the time comes. If there is a problem, we can act in an instant. Chapter 47. Please give me the power of acting. Picture. The Hokage picture in hand, not too many can be successfully sent out, please forgive me, close black lens bracket. Things about Musha joint Chunin exam. Subai probably got some information from the black market horse boy. They told Subai that many ninjas from other villages had arrived in Konoha village. Subai is unclear as to what Hyuga Hinata will be watched. But this kind of thing has long been within the scope of his guess. It is normal to be monitored, and if not monitored, it may be considered a small profit. But the ninjas in Konoha village shouldn't be so stupid. From the very beginning, Subai didn't take this kind of thing to heart. At this time I'm having a good time with Tsunade at home. Keep drinking. Tsunade's slightly drunken face flushed red. There was a squeak. He drank the sake in the glass into his mouth. Looking at Tsunade in front of him, Subai felt helpless. Just this level. Still drink. But the atmosphere has reached this point. Subai also pretended to be slightly drunk, and picked up the glass. Come on, Master Tsunade, let's continue. 7 days passed quickly. Tsunade's job was already relatively easy. It also went smoothly to finish. I usually drink a little wine here at Subai once in a while. Soak in hot springs and drink some wine. There is nothing to do. Especially after work is done. There is nowhere to release energy, and the two of them drink and brag every day when they have nothing to do. Occasionally take a small gamble. Then, to put it bluntly, if it is really calculated according to the game of gambling. The pants are temporarily borrowed from Subai. I'll tell you. I was still working on how to shake dice on my way home late at night. Guess what? A masked man with long hair dares to block my mother's way. Tsunade waved his hand, quite a heroic feeling. Of course, Subai is very clear about this matter. That masked long-haired man is Orochimaru, and it was Jiraiya who forced Orochimaru to accompany him in a heroic rescue scene. And then I just kicked. The ground was cracked by me, and the masked man trembled in fear. And guess what? Subai. What else? Jiraiya shouted and ran from a distance. Then seeing Orochimaru who was scared away, Jiraiya himself was also on the spot. But Subai still pretended to be surprised, as if he was listening extremely seriously, and stared at Dao. What's the result? Forehead. Tsunade wiggled his fingers a few times and pointed at the massive heaven on the table with a smile. As a result, the author of this book came to ask me if I had anything to do. Let me tell you, boy Subai, the author of this book is an idiot. If you learn the above things, I will guarantee you to be single for the rest of your life. Subai. Having said this, Tsunade shook his glass and fell silent, not knowing what he was thinking. But seeing a little sadness on her face. Subai knew it well. Whenever Tsunade drinks too much, she thinks of her brother Nawaki. One of the things is odd to say the least. The necklace Tsunade wears around his neck is an artifact left by Senju Hashirama. It has the function of restraining the tail beast chakra. It is said that because it is a relic of first Hokage, it is a unique ore in this world. The money sold was enough to buy 3 mountains. Jiraiya's original words. But this necklace is a bit weird. Except for Tsunade, whoever takes whoever dies. Die extremely fast. Nawaki is an absolute example. If you take it today, you must return to heaven the next day. It also belongs to the kind of death that is extremely tragic. Nawaki rushed into the enemy's detonator to ambush, and was blown out of human form. Even Uzumaki Naruto, the son of luck, gave him a necklace when Tsunade promised him to learn Rasengan. If it weren't for the 9 tails in his body, Naruto would have returned to the Pure Land. Before I officially brought it on, I was almost killed. This is really a frustrating existence. Just as Subai was staring at the necklace of the first generation project, Tsunade's doubtful voice came from beside his ear. What are you looking at? With a playful smile, Tsunade stared at Subai. That. I'm just curious about the necklace around your neck. I heard that the money you sell can buy 3 mountains. I really want to take over the 3 mountains and raise some chickens, ducks and geese. Tsunade. It's just that when Subai mentioned the necklace, Tsunade's face became even sadder. She stared blankly at the necklace in her hand. It was quiet for a long time. During this period, Subai was very knowledgeable and didn't try to wake her up. Still waited until Tsunade took the initiative to speak. This necklace belongs to grandfather. I once gave it to my brother. It's a pity he's gone. When Tsunade mentioned Naoki, a trace of loneliness and sadness flashed across his expression. In her heart, the status of her brother Naoki is higher than anyone else. This kind of thing actually makes Subai feel particularly strange. People in the ninja world are very interesting. How interesting can it be? It seems that as long as there are ninjas with younger brothers, they will spoil their younger brothers crazily. Regardless of whether it is a male ninja or a female ninja, they are unexpectedly consistent in pampering their younger brothers. Subai also understands this. Tsunade will spoil Uzumaki Naruto so much. Or because I saw the shadow of Naoki from him. Naoki probably died protecting Konoha village. He was clearly a Konoha village hero and must have walked away with pride. At this moment, Subai suddenly felt an inexplicable force attached to him. Master Xing, Brother Fat, Brother Wa, Wei. YJ. Subai naturally expressed his longing and yearning for Konoha village ninjas. But his words and expression made Tsunade stunned for an instant. Chapter 48. Tsunade. You and hash 039. Re lucky you didn't and hash 039, T get bitten to death. Open black lens bracket picture. Close black lens bracket. You know our Konoha village ninja too. Tsunade was taken aback for a moment, and then asked subconsciously. Suddenly he laughed at himself again. Hey, what ninjas are not ninjas, for those who regard Hokage as a dream? I think they're all a bunch of idiots. That's the kicker. Sensing the meaning behind Tsunade's words, Subai didn't respond in time. It's okay for her to say that these people are idiots, but if Subai follows her words, he won't get any benefit anyway. Take a look at Orochimaru. It was miserable to be beaten, it was really punched to the flesh, and the skin of the face fell off from the beating. You can't say that. Your brother Naoki must have adored your sister and your grandfather. That's why I talk about Hokage. He definitely wishes he could be as strong as you, Tsunade-sama, and a great ninja like Hashirama-sama. Actually, sometimes I envy them very much. They can fight for their dreams. Regardless of difficulties, not afraid of life and death, live like a real warrior. Speaking of this, Subai still didn't let a self-deprecating smile show. It's not like me, life is confused and I don't know the direction. This. Looking at Subai with a sad expression. Tsunade suddenly felt a sense of desolation in the house. Such a strong white yaksha also has a weak side. Of course, the key to making Tsunade listen is Subai's praise of Naoki, and in Naoki's heart. The importance of her sister. But Tsunade is not clear. In Subai's mind, between Tsunade and Hokage, Naoki will definitely choose Hokage. This is very pitiful. The younger brother will always be the one who gets the love. Only in this case, only a fool would tell the truth. What's more, Tsunade wanted to deceive herself, and Subai was just a good person from her perspective. While Subai was talking, he turned his head to look at Tsunade, and their eyes met. After counting breaths, Subai pretended to be a little embarrassed and said, "Sorry, I said something that shouldn't be said. Let's keep drinking." Oh. Tsunade also dodged his gaze. The two have entered the good state of brotherhood again. I don't know what it looks like when I drink it. Not sure how long I drank it again. Tsunade sometimes confides bitterness to Subai, like a schizophrenic, crying and laughing at other times. The atmosphere also gradually became strange. For Subai, he believes that sometimes what God bestows must be grasped. If you don't, you will be sorry for the loving heart of God. I won't care about you anymore. Bastard. Listen to me. Good sister. No, good brother. We faced Hanzo of the Salamander. Don't you know? Demigod. He is a demigod in the ninja world. I punched. Tsunade hugged Subai. Facing Tsunade, who could no longer tell the difference between male and female, Subai wrinkled his nose. In addition to some sake flavor, there is also a slight clear fragrance. Excellent. Master Tsunade. The person is beautiful and powerful. As expected of the most beautiful woman in the ninja world. Tsunade blushed a little upon hearing this. Then he smiled and said, "Just you. Do you understand? Anyway, a guy who reads books written by people like Jiraiya will definitely be single. I advise you to give up earlier." Tsunade pinched Tsubai's face and said while laughing. Tsubai also grinned, and treated his own body in his own way. Then I have to rely on Master Tsunade's instruction. In Konoha village, the night is already deep. In the former site of the root organization, in a hidden room. Shimura Danzo sat cross-legged at the table, and in front of him was a long-haired man. "Orochimaru, how are your negotiations with Sunagaku going?" Danzo's slightly narrowed eyes slowly opened, looking at Orochimaru, who sneaked into Konoha village with his experience and his own help. "Relax. That fellow Luo Sha naturally agreed. Otherwise how could he have sent Jinchuriki from Sunagaku to take the Chunin exam? Just wait until the time is right and let Gaara run amok in Konoha village. We Yinyan village and Sunagaku will naturally catch Konoha village by surprise." With anticipation in his cold eyes, Orochimaru habitually licked his tongue. "I will also take advantage of the Chunin exam to check the strength and talent of my prey." Snort. Danzo snorted coldly and continued, "Didn't you hear anything? The Hyuga Hinata that Shiroyasha took away before has been sent back. I'm worried." Having said that, Danzo looked to Orochimaru. But Orochimaru still sneered. "Don't care," a hoarse voice slowly sounded. "It's just a bounty criminal, there is no need to worry. What's more, the fact that Bayasha destroyed this country by himself was originally false. The Red Sand Scorpions in the Akatsuki organization have already told Yukushi Kabuto about these things. They are really confident, thinking that Do is still his former subordinate. But I don't know. It's too easy for me to lift a seal like submerged brain manipulation." After Danzo heard this, his expression was slightly startled. This was the first time he had heard of this, and he never thought that the person who destroyed this country was not Bayasha. It was Shao who organized the group of guys. So it's just a guy who can use time and space ninjutsu to escape. He muttered to himself. Danzo finally breathed a sigh of relief. Recently, because of Tsubai's matter, he also has trouble sleeping and eating. I was afraid that the other party would affect his and Orochimaru's Konoha Honkai plan. Master Danzo. When I kill Sarutobi Hiruzen, whether you can control Konoha village from the future depends on your means. Orochimaru didn't have much interest in controlling Konoha. But Konoha village has too many ninjutsu that he hasn't learned yet. Coupled with families with secret arts like Konoha village, those ninjas are also very good experimental materials. And according to what Orochimaru and Danzo know about Konoha village, today, Jiraiya is still foolishly looking for the son of prophecy outside. Tsunade even suffered from hemophobia and spent all day traveling around casinos. As long as Sarutobi Hiruzen is dead, according to the current situation of Konoha village, it will be difficult for them to choose a serious Hokage. Of course the Hokage will be mine. Danzo grinned. It seems to have seen the scene of myself sitting in Hokage's office. The next day, in Tsubai's home space, Tsunade woke up leisurely from the bed. Forehead. Touching her head, she was still a little dizzy. Ha! Tsunade patted her mouth, she felt something was wrong. What did you do last night? Why are you so exhausted? Could it be that you sleepwalked and climbed a mountain last night? Then she shook her head. Unless Tsubai dragged her to climb the mountain, there was no way for her to leave here. Didn't think too much about it either. Tsunade got dressed and came to the living room. However, at this time, Tsubai had already prepared breakfast. Woke up. In a word. Tsubai turned to look at Tsunade. What's wrong with your neck? Why is there a red spot? Not paying too much attention, Tsunade just asked Tsubai out of curiosity. Nothing. Meet a wild horse last night and got bitten. Puff. Hearing this, Tsunade burst out laughing. Why didn't the horse bite off your neck? Tsubai. Then you have to ask the horse, not me. What a weird guy. Tsunade shook his head, he had never seen such a person. Don't drink so much if you have such a poor capacity for alcohol. It must be that you drank too much and ran out for a stroll in a daze. You were lucky not to be bitten to death by that wild horse. Tsunade chuckled. But the more I thought about it, the more ridiculous it was, and I almost cried out from laughter. But Tsubai's next words woke Tsunade up. I didn't go out last night, I was at home all the time. Tsunade. Chapter 49. I am Tsunade, Ninja World Medical Ceiling. Picture. The first few pictures seem to be gone. The walnuts promised by a certain boss before should not be in line. I don't know if this one will work. Close black lens bracket. Tsubai is not a horse, but a cow is a cow. Doesn't that mean? What bulls and horses? Tsunade pointed at himself, confused on the spot. Tsubai nodded. But I won't blame you, I understand your feelings very well. After all, it is the first time to experience new things at this age. It's understandable to be a little excited. Tsunade. This dog thing. Obviously it was premeditated. Tsunade gritted his teeth tightly, his fists clenched so hard that his bones creaked. With an angry face, several veins appeared on her brow. If you dare to speak nonsense, you will die. Sulking for a while, Tsunade finally chose to give up. It is very unwise to fight. In case the opponent seizes the opportunity, the end may be even more tragic. Of course, as one of the Sannin, Tsunade who participated in the ninja war. The big winds and waves I think I have seen eat more salt than the average person. This mere matter is nothing compared to life. She is not as hypocritical as those ordinary people. After hearing this, Tsubai pretended to rub his chin in thought for a long time. This scene made Tsunade even more nervous. Hey! Did you hear what I said? Just pretend that nothing happened when you were drunk. When the time comes, I will finish the work for you, and we will never meet again. The deal is over. Tsubai nodded and said, then what if I become a father? Shut up. Who do you think I am? I'm Tsunade, the top medical ninja in the ninja world. This kind of thing doesn't know much more than you. Roll, roll, roll. Trembling with anger, Tsunade went to the table and picked up Jiraiya's book and flipped it back and forth. What are you doing? Tsubai asked curiously. I just want to see if this guy Jiraiya has grown up in recent years. People who read this kind of novel should not have any IQ in this regard. Tsubai. The truth is a bit speechless, but Tsubai is powerless to refute Tsunade. Jiraiya, the author of the Kissing Heaven series, is indeed old and single. And his little fanboy, Hitaki Kakashi. Jiraiya will not comment first. Hitaki Kakashi was a gifted elite when he was a child. Also has a handsome face. But until he stepped down from 6th Hokage, the only person with him was Might Guy who had a broken leg. Thinking of this, Tsubai spread his hands. But it's normal. In the ninja world, what men pursue is often very strange. For example, Hokage, Kazekage, Raikage, Tsuchikage. Even Mizukage. Otherwise, encouraged to become the mainstay of supporting the village. Inspiration should become the existence of protecting companions. And for the sake of the village, even one family will not be spared. Of course there is also my brother. I will come after him, no matter how big a mistake he makes. If you dare to move, you will die. What's more, he will also set up Anbu as his lifelong goal. Of course, there are some people with stupid IQs, and they don't want their childhood sweethearts who care about them at home. Must pursue Orochimaru to become a horse boy, eager for Orochimaru to give power. The result was also used by Orochimaru as a real product. Mizuki. It's really 5 flowers 8 gate. The only one who can think about the woman next to him is 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato of Konoha village. All my life led Uzumaki Kushina. It's a pity that when Kushina was bullied by the people in the village when she was a child, Minato just watched from the sidelines. They are all companions in the village, and they believe in Kushina's strength. But at the end of his life, Minato still didn't listen to Kushina's way. Did not let Kushina forcibly seal 9 tails and 9 tails perish together. Instead, In order to maintain the balance of the tail beasts of the 5 great nations, he chose to sacrifice his son's childhood. Oh, what a frightening world. Su Bai sighed inwardly. Make up your mind. Anyway, he doesn't have any goals, so why not turn into a savior and save these poor people? Just when Su Bai was thinking about playing, he heard a bang. Tsunade slammed the book in his hand on the table. Then he glared at Su Bai angrily. Su Bai. Call. Tsunade's angry gasps filled the room. After a long time, she took a deep breath. Never mind. It turns out that you hit it deep, kid. You only need to answer one question for me now, and I will not hold you accountable. Will the milk collected at that time have the same effect as the strawberry you gave me, which can enhance the strength of others? Tsunade knew it was pointless to pursue what had happened. She has already defined Su Bai in front of her as a person with deep scheming and magical mystic skills. If such a person intends to harm the ninja world in the future, that thing is really troublesome. Chapter 50. Tsunade is inflated, Tsunade is defeated, Tsunade will be taught a lesson. Time flies. Tsunade also has no plans to take care of Su Bai in recent days. Always intentionally or unintentionally avoiding Su Bai's gaze. This kind of behavior is definitely a manifestation of a guilty conscience. I am afraid that I will have some special emotions with Su Bai again. Su Bai also didn't pay much attention to Tsunade's behavior. Some things require boiling frogs in warm water, and if you run with Tsunade, you won't get anywhere. In recent days, after many inquiries, the black market boy finally reported to Su Bai the time of Musha's joint Chunin exam. July 1st. In this way, it will be tomorrow. However, this time, Tsunade finally completed her final mission. Take the bottle given by Su Bai and collect the milk. Unfortunately, only 5 bottles were collected in total. Is this thing really the same as the strawberry before? Tsunade glanced curiously at the milk in the bottle. Unfortunately, she quickly looked back. As if remembering something, his face turned slightly red. I suppose so. Su Bai also did not hide the previous question from Tsunade. No need, let her say it. Even if she said that she broke the sky, so what? You'll know if you try it. Su Bai showed a smirk. This smile made Tsunade tremble with anger. Nasty guy. Sure enough, I still won't forget the past. I'm going to make a bottle now, and you'll know if it works after you try it. When the words fell to the ground, Su Bai ignored the sulking Tsunade. He turned and walked towards the kitchen. Damn bastard. If I gain power, I will show you good looks. Looking at the back of Su Bai leaving, Tsunade snorted coldly, and turned her head away arrogantly. After a while, Su Bai came out with boiled fresh milk. No, drink it. The temperature is just right. Tsunade. Seeing that Tsunade was indifferent, Su Bai smiled and said, as Master Sanin, the top medical doctor in the ninja world, also afraid of me poisoning you? Snort. Su Bai's sarcasm aroused Tsunade's self-esteem. Embarrassed in front of this family. That is absolutely impossible. Just drink it. Tsunade took the milk and drank it down. Well, it's quite sweet. Chucking his mouth a few times, Tsunade subconsciously licked his lips with his tongue. It's a bit tempting. At this time, Su Bai also heard the sound of the system. Open black lens bracket. Tsunade drinks the first bottle of milk. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to Tsunade. Chakra's upper limit has been greatly improved, and the upper limit of physical skills has been greatly improved. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to Tsunade for getting his 25-year appearance back in time. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host Chakra for a large increase in the upper limit, and a small increase for the upper limit of physical skills. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for getting ninjutsu. Chakra scalpel adaptive. Close black lens bracket. Chakra scalpel. Su Bai frowned slightly. This is an A- level ninjutsu, which belongs to medical ninjutsu. Chakra focuses on the hands and can cut any part of the body for further medical treatment. Any organ can also be transplanted, and it can also be used to interrupt the opponent's muscles and meridians in battle. It can even be used as a weapon to cut opponents with great power. Moreover, the length and stretch of chakra scalpel can also be controlled according to the amount of chakra. It is really a wonderful move to kill people and get goods. But Tsubai is still very curious about what it means for Tsunade's 25-year-old appearance to go back in time. Because the appearance of Tsunade has not changed in any way. Did some research and found out. In the future, if the Tsunade completely unlocks the 100 healings mark and consumes a large amount of chakra, it will have a change in appearance. Instead of becoming ugly, it will return to the appearance it was 25 years ago. This reward is really beyond Tsubai's imagination. I originally thought that the current Tsunade chakra should be much thicker than before. Without very special circumstances, the 100 healings mark will not be unlocked. But I didn't expect. Once this guy fully unlocks the 100 healings mark, will chakra become younger after a lot of consumption? My obedient. This is really. If Tsunade doesn't kneel down and lick Tsubai's toes, Tsubai will think it's too bad. But it seems that the Tsunade 25 years ago is not as good as the gift from God now. But Tsunade had no idea what kind of reward he was getting. It's not like the bonuses Hinata gets with skill moves. Naturally, no images would appear in Tsunade's mind. She only knows that her current chakra is much stronger than before. I even feel that the strength of my body is not a little bit stronger than before. Call. Tsunade let out a long sigh of relief, feeling much more transparent and refreshed. Immediately, she fixed her eyes on Tsubai like a torch. Tsubai, I want to ask you a question. What are your plans for the future? Do you want to continue to be a wanted criminal or what? Tsunade's words made Tsubai a little confused. The casual Tsubai has never considered such a thing. Have not thought. He answered casually. Tsubai took out a scroll from time and space. There are 800 million taels stored in this scroll, I will send you back now. Tsunade didn't expect that Tsubai would pay her 800 million taels. This is really a lot of money, enough for her to pay off her debts. No, it's enough for her to continue to be chic in the casino. Although a little excited, Tsunade shook his head immediately. Don't change the topic, you have to give me a clear answer now. When Tsubai heard this, he didn't quite understand. Could it be that this woman was deceived by her acting skills that night? After all, Tsubai said that he was very envious of those ninjas. Envious. Don't make trouble, this is what I said at the beginning to set off the atmosphere. Do I have a choice? Don't forget about the affairs of this country. Tsubai's words made Tsunade startled. Then he showed a little sadness. That's right, she forgot about this country. This Tsubai is not an ordinary bounty-offering criminal, but someone who destroys other countries. It would be really difficult to kill a daimyo without someone with a particularly high reputation as a witness to guarantee his innocence. With her Tsunade name, as if that wasn't enough. Since Tsunade is also thinking about the future after learning these secrets of Tsubai. One is that he is afraid that this guy will really do something that endangers the ninja world. Even if Tsubai doesn't have this idea, he might not be used by others. The second is that I also want to bring him with me, maybe I can bring him back to Konoha village. After all, there are many reasons, both public and private. Hey, I thought we could be together. But now that I think about it, I'm afraid there is no such possibility. Tsubai. Tsunade paused, and the chakra in his body burst out suddenly. To be honest, you are really special. But. Tsunade gritted his teeth. But you are too dangerous, but don't worry, I will save your life and take you to a secret place to lock up. Tsubai. Ah, this woman is afraid that she has lost her mind. Tsunade, whose strength has been greatly enhanced twice, is indeed inflated. And this kind of magical secret technique is indeed a bit shocking. Once there is a problem, it is a very terrifying existence. Today's Tsunade has only one idea, that is to defeat Tsubai in front of him, and then find a secret place to imprison the guard himself. Are you ready? Tsunade's voice fell to the ground, and his figure quickly came to Tsubai in an instant. Dodging Tsunade's blow like a gust of wind, a blue light appeared in Tsubai's palm. Chakra scalpel hits Tsunade's forearm with a backhand. Well. Tsunade was in pain, and his arm suddenly fell limply. Feeling that the muscle meridian was temporarily cut off, her face also changed suddenly. You can use the chakra scalpel of medical ninjutsu. But Tsubai didn't give her time to be surprised. Clap clap. After 3 palms in a row, Tsunade only felt that all the muscles and meridians of the limbs were cut off by chakra scalpel. Plop. Slumped on the ground. This chakra scalpel really works. Tsubai takes back chakra. The severing of the muscle meridian is not a serious matter, it is just a temporary loss of mobility, and it will be fine to treat it with medical ninjutsu at that time. But now, still need to teach her some lessons. Chapter 51. Hinata. I feel the cold approaching from behind. Picture. Whose wife is this again? Close black lens bracket. It was the appointed time, but Tsubai and Tsunade still didn't show up. Shizune, who was still waiting at the Hiziguo Hotel, was extremely anxious. Even though it was late at night, she still had no idea of falling asleep. No, let's report back to Konoha village tomorrow that Tsunade-sama has been kidnapped. Shizune murmured in his heart. At first she did listen to Tsunade's opinion and did not report to Konoha village. It's a matter of Tsunade's reputation after all. What if the other party really wanted to ask Tsunade for help? Wouldn't that be lifting a rock and shooting yourself in the foot? But now the situation is different, the agreed time has come. During this day, Shizune has already imagined all kinds of bad results. Tsunade is a blood phobic. Once it encounters blood, it will completely lose its resistance. A bounty-offering criminal like Tsubai must not be a good person. In case of ill intentions. When the time comes, it will naturally. The more I think about it, the less Shizune dares to continue imagining. The tragic situation of being abused made Shizune feel an extremely angry hatred. But at this moment, a slight distortion occurred in the space. A purple-black portal appeared in the room. Well, boy, are you quick to learn. Worthy of praise. The familiar sound immediately made Shizune sit up suddenly. It was only then that Tsubai walked out of the portal holding Tsunade's waist. That's thanks to Master Tsunade's teaching. My medical ninjutsu is so advanced. Tsubai said in conjunction with the acting. Learning medical ninjutsu. Don't make trouble. Tsunade's severed muscle meridian has long been restored. It's just that walking is not smooth, so there are naturally other reasons. After hearing what Tsubai said, Tsunade narrowed his eyes and laughed. It's just that there is a trace of murderous intent behind this weird smile. You wait for me. At this time, he didn't even give her a chance to rest and recover. Don't throw her back. But in order not to make Shizune think too much, Tsunade can only ask Tsubai to play a play with her. What a hateful guy, he took advantage of everything. Simply Tsunade doesn't want to care about Tsubai anymore. Let him live and die in the future. When the time comes, he deserves to be chased and killed by the whole ninja world after being deceived by others. Master Tsunade. Seeing Tsunade appear, Shizune was so excited that she almost shed tears. It's great that you're okay, but... Seeing that Tsunade seemed to have a bad leg, Shizune cast an angry look at Tsubai. Shizune, don't be so hostile to Shiroyasha. We get along really well these days. He also resorted to this despicable method in order to learn medical ninjutsu. Seeing Shizune's dissatisfaction, Tsunade pretended to be serious. But Master Tsunade, your leg. It's okay, this is not to make Shiroyasha proficient in chakra scalpel, so I paid a little. Of course Yasha also gave me 800 million taels as a thank you. Nothing else. Tsunade said with a smile, but in his heart he scolded Tsubai from head to toe. Damn guy, if you don't listen to my persuasion, you will be hunted down by the entire ninja world sooner or later. At that time, we will know the seriousness of the matter. It's really young people who are arrogant and domineering. They don't know that the real horror in this world is the ninja organization, not the black market. EH. 800 million. 800 million taels. After Shizune heard the huge tuition fee, he was stunned on the spot. No wonder Master Tsunade was so enthusiastic, he didn't expect to be bribed. But Tsunade-sama, he's treating us Konoha village. The Hinata thing is indeed sent back. Oh, don't mention this matter again. In short, he and Konoha are not as serious as we imagined. Tsunade was speechless. She did know that Shizune was worried about her, but it was impossible to explain some things to her too clearly. After sending off Tsunade, Tsubai waved her hand lightly. Then I'll go back first, Master Tsunade, see you by fate. Tsunade narrowed his eyes and gave a smirk. Slow down. But I thought in my heart. Just keep doing it, and once the secret technique is exposed, just wait for the whole world to be hunted down, stupid guy. Wait until Bayasha leaves. Tsunade finally breathed a sigh of relief, but Shizune's voice made her tremble again. Master Tsunade, Shiroyasha is not saying that there is a way to cure your hemophobia. This matter. Shizune, listen to his nonsense. If he really has this ability, does he still need me to teach him medical ninjutsu? He said this before, just to trick me into teaching him medical ninjutsu. Okay, I'm a little tired too, let's rest first. Tsunade supported his waist, sat down slowly, and lay directly on the quilt on the floor. Also no longer talked to Shizune. As if tired, he quickly fell asleep. Shizune. Tsubai back home. Did not stop manual work. He hurried into the kitchen and began to boil another bottle of milk. Tomorrow is the Chunin exam. Now that the night is dark enough for everyone to fall asleep, he can take the opportunity to find Hyuga Hinata. After helping her strengthen her strength, you also need to let Hinata notify herself after entering the Death Forest. In fact, if Tsunade hadn't mentioned Orochimaru that day, Tsubai would have almost forgotten the existence of this product. Only then did I remember that Orochimaru still had a nice reward to get. Looking at the boiled milk, Tsubai sighed. Hinata, Hinata. You can't beat Hyuga Neji and Uzumaki Naruto anymore. All the rewards I lost have to be exploited from you. Chapter 52. Hinata and Hasho 39's ascension again, Chunin exam arrives. Picture. The previous picture is gone again. It seems that there are too many rivals in love, and I am scared. I really don't know who this picture is. Close black lens bracket. After the milk was boiled, Tsubai prepared everything, and the rest was to wake Hyuga Hinata from her dream and bring her home to continue to increase her strength. And according to Hyuga Hinata's recent strenuous practice, Tsubai also gets a very, very slight boost to the upper limit of chakra and taijutsu. So faint that he couldn't even feel it. But no matter how small a fly is, it is still meat. Even if Tsunade also practices in the future, he will also be rewarded. It's a pity that Hinata's growth through self-cultivation is too slow, and besides gambling and drinking, Tsunade can practice. To hell with it. Konoha village late at night. Hyuga Hinata tossed and turned in bed unable to sleep. It's been a long time since I saw Tsubai. It's a lie to say no. What's more, tomorrow is the Chunin exam, and I am extremely nervous. In the past few days, Hinata also specially went to the Konoha village entrance to see if Tsubai was among the ninjas who came to Konoha village. It's a pity that the greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. She didn't see Tsubai at all. Hinata, who returned home disappointed, also laughed at herself in the end. Mr. Tsubai is a bounty hunter, how could he come to Konoha so brazenly? What's wrong with me? Why can't I even understand this little thing? Oh, little girl, you are suffering from lovesickness. Call. Hinata tried to relax herself. It will definitely work, I am much stronger now than before. Just as she kept cheering herself up, she suddenly felt a change in the bed. It seemed that something had jumped into it. Ah! In a moment of panic, Hinata was about to scream when he suddenly remembered the Hyuga people patrolling outside his house, so he quickly covered his mouth. The brain is running fast. Hinata lovesick again. Could it be Mr. Tsubai who came to see me? However, Tsubai was a little confused at this time. When he came to Hinata's side through the portal, his eyes suddenly went dark. I was also taken aback in my heart. I thought I fell into a deep cave somewhere. Fortunately, he found 2 fair legs, and realized that the transmission was in the wrong place. What the hell, where is this portal set? Subai cursed secretly in his heart. At the same time, Hinata's body receded downwards, and she also got under the covers. Subai. Mr. Subai. Hinata blushed when she first saw Subai. But because the light was too dark, Subai naturally didn't notice these things. Coupled with the fact that he was in a hurry to take Hinata home, he didn't think too much about it. Huh. Did I bother you? Seeing Hinata appearing in front of him, Subai inevitably thought that his appearance disturbed Hinata's rest. No. Not at all. Hinata shook her little head slightly. In this strange atmosphere, Hinata's heart was pounding with excitement. It's a pity that Subai didn't express much. He took Hinata's hand and said, "Go back with me first, it's not convenient to talk here." Hinata, who returned to the home space, did not have time to go to the courtyard outside. She didn't know about the extra cow on the property. But the faint fragrance that filled the whole room didn't seem to be a smell she was familiar with. Nose wrinkled slightly, Hinata was suspicious. It doesn't smell like Mr. Subai's. Why? Thinking of this, Hinata sighed inwardly. Some complained about Subai's behavior of not letting her come here casually. Boom. Naturally, Subai didn't know what Hinata was thinking, so he put the boiled milk in front of her. Drink it. This is a new secret method. It can make you powerful again. Hinata heard this, her eyes flickered slightly. Immediately, his expression was a little strange. Can't tell if I'm surprised or moved. Gurgle gurgle. For what Subai said, Hyuga Hinata still believed very much. I didn't think too much about it, I drank it all in one gulp. Open black lens bracket. Hyuga Hinata drank the first bottle of milk. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to Hyuga Hinata for getting a lot of chakra upper limit increase, and a lot of physical skill upper limit increase. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to Hyuga Hinata for receiving the award, Gentle Fist Method 8 trigrams 128 palms. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for getting a small increase in the upper limit of chakra and a small increase in the upper limit of physical skills. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for obtaining blood follower boundary. White eyes. Close black lens bracket. The white-eyed ability is self-adaptive. You can have the white-eyed ability without changing the shape and appearance of the pupils. Close black lens bracket. Subai. This. It's not so much that he obtained the supercilious white eyes of the blood successor, but rather that his own eyes possessed the ability of supercilious white eyes. This reward is really good. After all, these eyes can see some things that ordinary eyes cannot see. It is more effective to detect the depth of the other party. Subai is quite satisfied. Look at Hinata's rewards again. Gentle Fist Method 8 trigrams 128 palms is actually 128 palms. On the basis of 8 trigrams 64 palms, another 64 palms were played. My obedient. According to Hyuga Hinata's current level, among the top 12, it should be considered very high. Be humble. Except for 8 inner gates overbearing body art of changing one life for another in Naruto's tailed beast. The other Xiaoqiang should be able to be beaten by Hinata. Not even the current Uchiha Sasuke. If Hinata is not humble, he should be playing casually when he hits Neji. As long as your mentality is stable and you don't stop attacking because of the identity of the opponent, you can also slap Neji on the ground with a breath. Subai looked at the horrified Hinata, and said with a smile, Hinata, I should know how strong you are now. If we lose again, hey, then I'm really going to be heartbroken. As soon as Subai sighed, Hinata quickly stood up. No, I will definitely perform well and will not let you down. Yes. The reason why I can have such a reliable strength now is all due to the blessing of Subai in front of me. If this fails to perform well in the Chunin exam, Hinata will really commit seppuku. Okay, let's go back. Seeing Hinata's firm attitude, Tsubai nodded in satisfaction. Hinata. That. Hinata rubbed her little hands with a shy expression. Just about to stay here for a while with the excuse of insomnia, but saw Tsubai's expression froze. Then he said, by the way, I almost forgot an important thing. Hearing this, Hinata was a little happy, thinking that Tsubai wanted to stay. When you enter the second test, it's time to enter the Death Forest. Just find an excuse to leave the team temporarily, find a place where no one is around, and come to my place, so that I can enter Konoha village according to your actual situation. Tsubai almost forgot that Orochimaru guy again. But in order to prevent Hinata from being passive due to his sudden appearance, he kindly reminded him. Let Hinata find a hidden place to inform herself. Hinata. Mr. Tsubai. Hinata was a little bitter. The hateful guy in front of him doesn't understand the girl's mind at all. Seeming to have noticed Hinata's strangeness, Tsubai was slightly taken aback, and then added, why are you looking at me like that? If I can't get into Konoha village, how do I see your performance? Hit. What a little idiot. Well. As soon as these words came out, Hinata, who was still a little disappointed, blushed a little, but her eyes were full of anticipation. Without thinking about it too much, she couldn't help nodding. Well, I see, I will definitely come to inform you when the time comes. Chapter 53. The Chunin exam officially begins. On this day, the exciting Chunin exam finally began. Hyuga Hinata, Inuzuka Kiba, and Aburame Shino came to the exam room according to Kurenai Yuhi's last order. As soon as I entered the door, I found that the whole classroom was full of strange ninjas from other villages. Rain Shinobi Village, Sunagaker, Longyan Village, Kaoyan Village, Yinyan Village. And they have Konoha Village. Hinata felt a little uncomfortable with the way these ninjas dressed. The look and expression are too scary. 5 big and 3 rough. Oh. There they are. Inuzuka looked around, and finally found the 6 of them at the same time. Hinata, Shino, let's go over and say hello to them too. Inuzuka Fang followed Hinata's blank gaze, but saw Hyuga Neji sitting there in the crowd, looking at the 3 of them with unfriendly eyes. No. It is looking at Hyuga Hinata. Oh, teeth. Let's go there. Hinata forced a smile, and followed Inuzuka and Shino towards Genin. Appears to behave normally. But Hinata was still very nervous inside. She didn't know exactly what she was going to face in this exam. But she made up her mind that she must become a Chunin. Hey. This is really rare, everyone is here. Isn't it, Akamaru? Wow. Inuzuka Tooth walked in the front with the appearance of a boss. Hinata and Shino followed closely behind. All 9 newcomers Genin from Konoha village were present. So that's how it is. This year's 9 Genin rookies all took the exam. So. Inuzuka Fang showed a hint of pride, and looked at Uchiha Sasuke in front of him. How far can we go? What do you think? Sasuke. Don't look at Inuzuka Ya's unreliable appearance. He can be regarded as a hot-blooded boy in his heart. Naturally, only Uchiha Sasuke, who ranks first in the ranking, is in his eyes. The appearance of Inuzuka Tooth attracted the attention of several people. But they still stared at Hinata for a few moments. But then he withdrew his gaze. Yamanaka Ino winked at Haruno Sakura. The 2 were telegraphing with their eyes. Ino. Did you hear that? Little Sakura, Hinata was kidnapped by people outside the village and brought back. Rumor has it that she was killed in the street. Haruno Sakura. Hush. Don't talk nonsense, these things can't be mentioned in front of Hinata. Then Haruno Sakura looked at Naruto, but saw Naruto staring at Inuzuka Toothily. She was relieved. I'm afraid that this idiot will slip up. HMPH. You are so calm. Teeth. Sasuke smiled proudly. The current Sasuke can be regarded as a cheerful boy. We have done a good job in deep cultivation, and we will never lose to you. But Inuzuka Tooth only has Sasuke in his eyes. This behavior caused Uzumaki Naruto to be upset immediately. You are really long-winded, why are you all looking at Sasuke? I won't lose to someone like you. Woof. Akamaru also called out to Naruto. This sound caught Akamichi Choji's attention. Akamaru. It seems to be delicious. Just about to lean forward to see Akamaru's appearance. Aburame Shino stepped out first, blocking Choji. Ah. What do you want to do? Choji, who was blocked from watching food, was a little upset. With a slightly angry face, he questioned. Seeing that Shino had been watching his feet go down, Choji also looked down. Only then did a ladybug crawl past their feet. Don't step on it, Shino said coldly. Huh? Choji looked puzzled. I said I don't want you to step on him. Hearing this, Akamichi Choji finally understood what Shino meant. Do you want to eat this? For a moment, everyone fell into silence. Nobody knows how to crack Akamichi Choji's bad jokes. Fortunately, at this time, a Konoha village ninja with glasses came out. You guys, don't make noise here. Look behind you. Several people heard the words and turned to look. It was only then that they discovered that they had become the target of all genin due to the fact that the 9 of them got together. They were staring at a few people with fierce and irritable eyes. These gazes startled Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino. The eyes of these people are really scary. Haruno Sakura shuddered all over. There was no ripple at all on the flat chest. However, at this moment, the glasses ninja said to himself again, my name is Yakushi Kabuto. It's the 7th time I'm taking the Chunin exam this year, so I should have more experience than you. As a senior, let me tell you a little bit of confidence about this exam. Yakushi Kabuto took out a stack of ninja cards from his trouser pocket while talking. In Hokage's office, Sarutobi Hiruzen along with Hitaki Kakashi, Might Guy, Kurenai Yuhi, Asuma, and the patriarchs of the major families observed every move in the Chunin exam classroom through the crystal ball. Yuhihong is very concerned. She is really worried that Hinata will be used by Tsubai to endanger Konoha village. The one who is more excited than her is naturally Hyuga Hiyashi. But as the patriarch of the Hyuga family, Hiyashi suppressed the excitement in his heart and acted very calmly. And he also had a plan in his heart. If Hyuga Hinata is really bewitched by Tsubai, there is really no way. As the old family of Konoha village, the Hyuga family will not give up the whole family because of her personal reasons. By the time, Hiyashi didn't dare to think about it, but just hoped that Hinata would never do something stupid. So far, it feels normal. Ho ho. Sarutobi Hiruzen relaxed and laughed a few times. After Kurenai Yuhi thought for a while, she continued, I have been observing Hinata just now. As soon as she entered the classroom, her eyes were looking for a target, but they finally fell on Neji. Looking at her expression, I feel quite normal. After all. When Kurenai Yuhi said this, she paused and glanced at Hyuga Hiyashi. The topic changed. I think if Shiroyasha wants to control what Hinata does, he will choose a place with a lot of people. For example, let Hinata be covered with detonating charms. Red, you mean? Asuma's expression changed greatly upon hearing this. Could it be that Shirayasha is going to use Hinata to blow up all the genin present? Impossible. Hong, don't make random guesses. Hyuga Hiyashi scolded on the spot. I asked Sha to look at it with supercilious eyes this morning, and I didn't find anything unusual about Hinata. Call. That's the end of what Yuhihong could imagine. Fortunately, Hyuga Hiyashi is also well prepared. Yuhihong finally breathed a sigh of relief. Ah. I wonder if we might be cheated. Maybe that white yaksha is really all right. Might Guy's words made everyone stunned for a moment. If he really didn't have any ideas, wouldn't everyone be busy in vain? Guy, don't say that. Just in case, we still have to do it. Kakashi smiled slightly. Time passed by every minute and every second. Nothing was found by Sarutobi Hiruzen at all. The first written test was said to be answering questions, but the real test was the ability of this group of genin to obtain information. Haha. Kakashi yo. The 3 of my subordinates are stronger than yours. The anomaly didn't see it, but he saw the whole test screen. Rookie genin has 9, plus Might Guy leads the freshman 3. Among Konoha village's top 12, only Uzumaki Naruto's test paper is still blank. Among the 12 Shaoqiang, except for Haruno Sakura and Hyuga Hinata who answered the question completely by themselves, all others got the answer through information acquisition. And Uzumaki Naruto, who has no intelligence acquisition function at all. At this time, Muggle gone. Chapter 54. Tsubai, you were missed by Hyuga Hanabi. The day passed quickly. The first written test of the Chunin exam also came to an end. During this period everything is very normal. Except Uzumaki Naruto's final yell broke the intimidation of torture ninja Ibushi. Everything. Nothing happened. Hyuga Hinata and others all passed the test smoothly. She sat quietly in the courtyard and recalled the first day of the Chunin exam. It turned out that the purpose of the written test was actually to test their ability to collect intelligence. And these questions are useless at all. The key 10th question is a psychological test question. Before answering the question, they can choose to give up, but those who do not give up but answer the 10th question incorrectly will be unable to take the Chunin exam. Candidates who left during this period actually lost their qualifications for the exam. Uzumaki Naruto, who was sitting next to Hinata, waved his hand and said passionately, "Even if I am a genin for the rest of my life, I will become a Hokage in one go." According to Mr. Tsubai, for ordinary people, these are just useless pretty words. Hinata raised her head and looked at the morning glow in the distance. She remembered the scene of watching the battlefield in Kaoyan village with Tsubai on the top of the mountain. Anyone can say beautiful words, but for those people, it is not a beautiful word that can end the war. Let them live a stable life. But Hinata shook her head mockingly. She had asked Tsubai about Uzumaki Naruto. That's why everyone likes to call him the demon fox. If you don't ask, you don't know. When you ask, you are almost scared to death. It turns out that the monster with the most chakra in the world, 9 tails, is sealed inside Uzumaki Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto's identity is very special. It's just that when Hinata was about to ask about the tailed beast again, Tsubai told her that it was meaningless to her to know about it. There was no more sound. Thinking of this, Hinata had a hint of resentment on his face. Isn't it okay to just chat once in a while? It's really just for training me, is there nothing else? It's just that Hinata doesn't know until now, and what Tsubai told her is just a few perfunctory words. Just to prepare her mentally. Once you face Uzumaki Naruto at that time, you won't be surprised by the sudden appearance of 9 tails chakra. Tailed beast, Jinchuriki. These things really mean nothing to Hinata. There are also various things in this ninja world, she doesn't need to know so much. But Hinata became excited when she thought that Tsubai could see her performance tomorrow. I couldn't help but smile. Oh, silly girl, do you believe this too? He came here to find Orochimaru. However, at this time, a hidden place in a corner of the Hyuga mansion's courtyard. 2 pairs of eyes were fixed on Hinata. Master. There is nothing unusual about Ms. Hinata. The maid Hyuga Natsu rolled her eyes and said respectfully to Hyuga Hiyashi beside her. Hiyashi was still very dignified, nodded lightly and said, "You should work harder tonight, and pay more attention to the changes in Hinata." As a father, Hiyashi knows very well. Hinata is getting old, even as her father, there are some things Hiyashi can't do. It can only be difficult for Hyuga Shah who is beside me. Understood, Patriarch. Naturally, Hyuga Shah also knew it, and accepted the order solemnly. And another corner. The small head poked out, looking at Hinata. Hyuga Hanabi. Perhaps a test of Hanabi's state of mind. Hiyashi did not hide the fact that Hinata was kidnapped. But when Hinata came back, Hiyashi didn't mention her sister to Hanabi. However, some recent changes in the family also made Hanabi doubtful. My sister must have some ulterior secret. Little Hanabi murmured. In fact, there is no need to think too much, in Hanabi's cognition. Looking at the tense nerves of everyone in the family, she knew it must be something bad. Especially seeing Hinata's dazed expression recently. Hanabi clenched her pink fist angrily. This hateful white yaksha has shamed our Hyuga clan. I have to practice hard and seek justice for my sister. At this time, Tsubai naturally didn't know that he was being targeted by a little Lolita. He is happily waiting for the new reward. Open black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for taking the first bottle of milk. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for getting a massive chakra upper limit increase, and a massive physical skill upper limit increase. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host for getting the reward, the skill Knight of God adaptive. Close black lens bracket. Tsubai. Knight of God. Improve all attribute abilities of yourself or your companions. Close black lens bracket. This. What Tsubai didn't expect to acquire was the skill of Wendy, the Sky Dragon Slayer Magister in Fairy Tail. The skills of a little Lolita. Well, forget it. Tsubai shrugged. I have almost rushed towards omnipotence. He can be both a warrior and a mage. Especially after getting medical ninja and now adding this skill. Tsubai can be regarded as a competent support. It's a pity that I didn't get Wendy's Tianlong characteristics. Just eating fresh air restores stamina and magical powers chakra. In that case, it can be regarded as a perpetual motion machine. Tsubai smiled to himself. Then go to the hot spring room. Get ready to take a bath and have a good rest. Starting tomorrow. Get ready to sneak into Konoha village. Chapter 55. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Unexpectedly, I still have a way. Picture. Little walnut. Close black lens bracket. The next day. All the genin who passed the first written test yesterday gathered together. Konoha Village Exercise Field 44. Also known as the Death Forest of Konoha Village. The number 44 practice field is located in the northeast of Konoha Village, which belongs to the area that has been separated from Konoha Village. It is a circular forest land with a radius of 10 kilometers. It always felt kind of creepy. Haruno Sakura pursed her lips and clasped her hands in front of her chest. The deep and dim forest in front of her made her feel panic. She has never seen such a dense and huge forest. But she didn't know that behind a few meters away from them, a pair of cold eyes full of desire were staring at her. Uchiha Sasuke next to him. Orochimaru had already killed the 3 ninjas who came to Konoha village for the exam. Take his 2 ninjas from Yinyan village in disguise and transform into Kaoyan village ninjas. Mixed in the crowd. It's just that Hyuga Hinata doesn't know that Tsubai's target has been mixed in with their crowd. She was still thinking about how to find Tsubai later. This is called the Forest of Death, and you will experience it for yourself soon. Invigilator Mitarashi Anko had a wicked smile on his face. As a former student of Orochimaru, Anko has learned some bad habits. Like smiling sinisterly. Death Forest. When hearing the words, Death Forest, Hinata's heart trembled slightly. She just remembered that Tsubai asked her to go to him during the second test. He didn't care about the Death Forest that Tsubai said at the time. Unexpectedly, the other party was right about the Death Forest. At this moment, Hyuga Hinata couldn't believe it. Tsubai. Who is it? Snort. It's called the Forest of Death, and you can experience it for yourself right away. Uzumaki Naruto pinched his waist with both hands, imitating Anko's voice, and twisted. Seeing this, Uchiha Sasuke quickly turned his head away. Haruno Sakura looked even more furious, looking at Naruto with embarrassment. No matter how much you scare me, I'm fine. I'm not afraid at all. Uzumaki Naruto's actions caught everyone's attention. And Anko was happy instead of angry, and said with narrowed eyes, really? You are so energetic. As soon as the words fell, Anko drew out the kunai very quickly. Before Naruto could react, kunai had already slashed across his face, even drawing a bloody wound. Anko's own body skills are also extremely fast, and at the same time that kunai is stuck on the ground, he has already come behind Naruto. He touched the blood on Naruto's face. Children like you are usually the first to die. This spout of blood is my favorite. Uzumaki Naruto was even more frightened on the spot, completely lost the momentum just now. However, while Anko was still threatening Naruto, he felt someone approaching behind him. Without further ado, she took out the kunai again, just about to turn back. But she saw a long tongue curling up her previous kunai, and handed it to her. Kunai. I will give it back to you. Oh. Thank you so much for your trouble. Anko didn't recognize the ninja of Kauyan village in front of him, and smiled, but don't stand behind me with a murderous look. If you don't want to die early. Orochimaru didn't care, and retracted his long tongue into his mouth. Sorry, I'm also the kind of person who gets excited when I see blood. And you cut off my most important hair. It's exciting. Orochimaru left a word and turned back to the crowd. But the interaction between the two made Haruno Sakura and Yamanaka Ino feel that something was wrong. These people. Nothing seems normal. Hyuga Hinata looked at Orochimaru more. This person inexplicably gave her a particularly dangerous feeling. As for why she felt this way, she was not particularly clear. It seems that this test will not be as simple as before. Hinata murmured inwardly. In the Konoha village Hokage office. When Sarutobi Hiruzen saw Orochimaru's long tongue, for some reason, a bad premonition suddenly rose in his heart. Master Third Generation. Kakashi saw the dazed Sarutobi Hiruzen, and kindly reminded him, Shien and the others. Oh. Sarutobi Hiruzen came back to his senses, smiled and said, I have already arranged for Shien and 2 other Anbu personnel to be among the candidates. Their task is to follow Hong's 8th squad. But the goal is not Shiroyasha, but to stop Hinata if something happens. Yuhi Hong heard the sound and sighed softly, hey. Now that I think about it, if Shiroyasha doesn't show up, I really feel sorry for the 3 of them. As Jonin in charge, he didn't even trust his subordinates. Evening Red Heart. There is also unspeakable pain. Dead Forest Days. The Earth Coiling Axis battle lasts for 5 days. And the terrain is complex, and the density of candidates is very low. If Shiroyasha wants to contact Hinata again, this is the best choice. I think the current white yaksha may have been mixed in with the crowd. Nara Lujiu analyzed a wave. They don't think Tsubai is a stupid guy. Now that Hinata is back, it will inevitably be watched by Konoha village. It is not easy to contact even if you want to. But this time the test was really at the right time and place. It's a pity that he didn't expect the old man to have such miraculous ninjutsu. Ho 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 ho. Sarutobi Hiruzen put down his bong, his old face twitched a few times, and he laughed. When everyone heard the words, they also laughed a few times. Indeed, no matter how clever Tsubai was, he never thought that Konoha village could use such surveillance methods to monitor Hyuga Hinata. It's a pity that Tsubai knows their methods. But they didn't think about what kind of expression they would have if they found out that Tsubai appeared to fight Orochimaru. Okay, let's wait in peace now. Sarutobi Hiruzen hoists the bong again. An ambush has already been arranged on the far periphery of the Death Forest. His target was not Tsubai. Because Sarutobi Hiruzen knew that it was impossible to catch Tsubai. After all, the opponent's space-time ninjutsu is too weird. The real target is actually Hyuga Hinata. They just want to find out whether there is something between Hyuga Hinata and Tsubai that is not good for Konoha village. At this time, Hyuga Hiyashi is calm on the surface, but deep in his heart he has been looking forward to it. Hinata. You must not do anything that has anything to do with Shiroyasha. Chapter 56. Inuzuka Tooth, Expansive. Tsubai raised his head and looked at the clock on the wall. There are still a few minutes until 2:30 in the afternoon. It also indicates that the second test of the Chunin selection exam is about to begin. Pack everything. Tsubai sat quietly on the sofa and waited for Hinata's arrival. Outside the Konoha village Death Forest. All genin candidates have come to their starting point as required. Invigilator Mitarashi Anko stared earnestly at the watch on his wrist. When the time comes. Mitarashi Anko, with a serious face, conveyed the news to the proctors at all starting points through the wireless headset. From now on, the Chunin selection exam. The second test has officially begun. The voice fell. All proctors opened the doors of all starting points at the same time. Genin, taking the test, leaves quickly. Everyone has excited expressions on their faces. Swish swish swish. Except for the three of Uzumaki Naruto, everyone else moved towards the central tower at an extremely fast speed. And planned to find a suitable opponent halfway to snatch the eligible scrolls in their hands. Clap clap. 3 soft bangs landed on the ground. Hyuga Hinata, Inuzuka Kiba and Aburame Shino fell to the ground. Very well, let's go find the scroll now. Can it work, Hinata? Inuzuka Tooth still looks like a team leader, and has already begun to direct. Of course, the kind-hearted Hinata will definitely not compete with Inuzuka Tooth for these boring things. She just nodded slightly and said, yeah. Blind eyes. The 3 closest to us are coming towards us. Hinata used white eyes to detect, and saw 3 figures chasing towards them in the distance. It must be because they are newcomers. Should be easy to bully. Oh. That's just fine. Shina, let's make a trap here first, and pretend that nothing happened. Wait for them to take the bait. Inuzuka showed a fierce look on his face, and grinned wickedly. All right. Shino didn't say much, he thought Ya's method was very good. In Konoha's Hokage office, everyone looked at the 3 people who were setting traps. Yuhi's red face is proud. These 3 little guys are doing really well. Might Guy shuddered all over. The 3 of them actually want to use the blood-sucking leeches in the dead forest. It's too scary. Kakashi. Kurenai Yuhi gave Might Guy a blank look, and said with a smile, Shino is an expert in this field. Of course I've been with Shino for a long time, and Hinata and Kiba have long been able to resist. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not make any comments. So far everything looks fine. Swish. A fast-moving rain shinobi village ninja stopped and waved one arm. The 2 companions behind him also stopped. From the bottom of the woods, Inuzuka Fang's voice came. Anyway, everyone's goal is to go to the tower. Then it's the best policy for us to set up traps around the tower as much as possible. He pretends to be loud and attracts 3 rain shinobi. Akamaru's nose kept wrinkling, already smelling the opponent's position. However, the 3 rain shinobi had no idea that the crisis had come. HMPH. Sure enough, the kid is the kid. In that conspicuous place, is it because we are afraid that we will not be able to find them? Leading the way, rain shinobi snickered at Inuzuka's stupidity. He stood upright in a conspicuous place and did not speak, but his voice was extraordinarily loud. In this kind of test, Inuzuka Ya's behavior is obviously to want to reincarnate earlier. It's just that when he finished speaking these words, his face suddenly darkened. Under the clothes on the back, something seemed to be drilled. What's the matter? Your face is very ugly. Seeing this, the companion was obviously taken aback. Especially looking at what was wriggling under the shirt of rain shinobi who took the lead. It surprised them even more. When the blood-sucking leech from Konoha village showed up, the remaining 2 rain shinobi were completely stunned. What is this thing? It's a pity that before they could digest the scene in front of them, Konoha village's blood-sucking leeches fell densely on the high branches. Even if they used the kunai and shuriken in their hands to fight back, the large number of blood-sucking leeches could not be killed. Ah! Instant effort. There were screams in the death forest. Roar. Are these 3 brats still pretty powerful? An Anbu member who was in the dark admired it. After all, this is the future ninja of their Konoha village. Still something to be proud of. Azuki Shion didn't say a word, and watched the changes around her vigilantly. Trying hard to find out where Tsubai is. The blood-sucking leeches in Konoha village can collectively jump onto their prey based on the body temperature and sweat of the person. As long as you have been sucked blood for 5 minutes, it's time to go to another place. I'm so sorry. Looking at the 3 rain shinobi who fell into their trap again after landing, Inuzuka gave a cruel smile. It's up to you whether you can survive. We have to take the scroll away. Everything is going smooth. The 8th group of 3 led by Yu Hahong got the land scroll they needed not long after they entered the death forest. The earth coiling axis was assembled shortly after entering the arena. What luck. You say yes, Akamaru. Wow. Akamaru, who was lying on Inuzuka's head, wagged his tail happily. Kiba looked at Hinata and Shino by the way. Hinata, Shino, let's go. Go and find the next opponent. Survival in the wild still has to come to this kind of place. Hyuga Hinata was stunned by Inuzuka Fang. Shouldn't we rush to the central tower at this time? Why look for the next target opponent? Tooth. He actually swelled up. Tooth. You're too proud, it's dangerous. No matter how small a bug is, it will keep vigilance in order to protect itself from predators. That's the safest way. Aburame Shino doesn't particularly agree with Inuzuka's idea. But after hearing his words, Inuzuka didn't care and said, "What? Of course I know. You guys still like to say things that others don't understand. You idiot." Shino. Seeing that Shino was silent, Inuzuka also knew that he was unhappy, shook his hand, and continued, Okay, I understand. Then let's go to the central tower now. Chapter 57. Hyuga Hinata became Konoha Rinin. Picture. In fact, I think these three are still very good, close black lens bracket. Seeing the three of them set off again. Azuki Shion waved her hand. The two Anbu companions behind him nodded. The three followed cautiously again. After all, according to the information that Yuhihong told Shion, these three of her subordinates all have extremely strong detection capabilities. Therefore, the tracking of the three of them is still very careful. To avoid being discovered by the three little guys in front of me. If that's the case, it's really embarrassing for Anbu. Along the way, everything is normal. The Hyuga Hinata trio did not meet their opponents again. Thinking about those genins whose starting points are close to each other, they have already beaten you to death. But just when Shion thought everything was normal, Hyuga Hinata stopped suddenly. Inuzuka Kiba and Aburame Shino also stopped in doubt. Teeth. Hinata. What's the matter with you? Did you find anything? Shino. No. Probably not. Hinata didn't use white eyes. Tooth. Oh. Is that a physical discomfort? Hear the concerns of your peers. A trace of guilt suddenly rose in Hinata's heart. Now she needs to deceive Inuzuka Tooth and Aburame Shino in front of her. Find a hidden place to return to Tsubai's home. Then bring Tsubai to the Death Forest. Hyuga Hinata though knows that this kind of thing is not good. But in her heart, she believed in Tsubai, thinking that Tsubai would never do anything to hurt Konoha village. That. Hinata blushed apologetically. But Shino and Kiba didn't see the clue. After all, in their hearts, this fits Hinata's character very well. I want to find a place to relax. Hyuga Hinata gritted her teeth and finally told a lie. Ah. So that's what happened. Then you go. But be very careful about your surroundings. Inuzuka said with a smile, we'll wait for you here. I heard. Hinata nodded lightly. Yeah. Suddenly the situation appeared. Azuki Shion thinks Hinata's move is very suspicious based on her sixth sense as a woman. So he said to the two companions behind him, I will follow and watch, you are here to wait for orders. Yes. Captain. Two Anbu lead. This kind of thing can only be done by Azuki Shion. Although it is a task, there is no distinction between men and women. But the other party is Hyuga Hiyashi's daughter after all, and this kind of person should not be easily offended. Hyuga Hinata was both excited and nervous. There is an indescribable feeling. On one side is Konoha village, where she was born and raised, and on the other side is Tsubai, who she thinks saved her life. It's a pity that after Hinata ran into the dense forest, he didn't think much about it. The urge to meet Tsubai with self-blame but excited her made Hinata have no time to scruple. Immediately opened the time-space portal connecting Tsubai's home. This action. But it made Azuki Shion on the tree head dumbfounded on the spot. She never expected that Tsubai was not in Konoha village at all, nor did he mix with the candidates as analyzed above. The crux of the problem. It was Hyuga Hinata who possessed exactly the same space-time ninjutsu as Tsubai. Has Hinata betrayed Konoha? Azuki Yugao couldn't accept Hyuga Hinata's betrayal at all. She was the one that everyone saved their lives that night. Why did you choose to betray Konoha village? Sarutobi Hiruzen, who has been using the telescope technique to monitor Hinata, is also in the Hokage office in a daze. Everyone present had the same expression as him. Everyone couldn't believe that Hinata would use the same time and space ninjutsu as Tsubai. It is even more unbelievable that Hinata actually deceived Inuzuka Kiba and Aburame Shino. Hinata she. Yuhihong shook her purple eyelids slightly, her voice trembling. Have you become a Konoha village traitor? The one who can't accept all this is of course Hyuga Hiyashi as his biological father. Surprise was fleeting. What followed was boundless anger. This useless thing. What a disgrace to the Hyuga clan. Bang. Hyuga Hiyashi got up angrily, and the chair behind him fell to the ground because of his movements. Master Third Hokage. Go ahead, we Hyuga clan don't have anyone like that. Calm down. Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help reminding himself. As Konoha village Third Hokage, I have experienced countless storms and waves. It is not enough to be collapsed by such an emergency. I adjusted my breathing. Sarutobi Hiruzen took up the bong again. Call. Hiyashi, calm down first. Tsubai hasn't shown up yet, don't define Hinata so early. But Sarutobi Hiruzen just finished speaking. But I heard Asuma say, Third Hokage, White Yaksha has appeared. By the way, Asuma sighed inwardly, her father is indeed old. No matter what time, I'm still here pretending to be calm. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Chapter 58. Sarutobi Hiruzen. The old man in Hasho 39's operation was actually seen through. Tsubai stepped through the portal and appeared in the death forest of Konoha village. This scene. Azuki Shion, who was hiding on the branch, suddenly had her heart in her throat. Plop plop. Heart beating violently. Azuki Shion was afraid that Tsubai under the tree would discover her existence. Once discovered, in that case, the consequences may be unimaginable. But it doesn't matter. Since he appeared with Hyuga Hinata, Lord Third Hokage must have seen it. Azuki Shion muttered a few words in her heart. Already ready to die. After Tsubai came on stage, Hinata shyly swayed beside him. Mr. Tsubai. That. Tsubai. What's wrong? This girl's behavior was indeed a bit puzzled, and Tsubai couldn't understand it. But still with a smile on his face, he asked Hinata one more question. That we've got the earth coiling shaft. The rest of the time is to rush to the central tower and wait for the next test. But when Hinata said this, there was a little disappointment on his face, but I didn't expect that the method of obtaining the scroll would be so simple. As soon as I entered the arena, I got all the earth coiling axes, and I haven't come in time to let you see my performance. Nani. In Hokage's office. Everyone's eyes widened again. They couldn't figure out what the relationship between Hinata and Tsubai was. Could it be that Tsubai sneaked into Konoha village just to see Hinata Chunon's performance in the exam? Nara Lujiu took the lead in launching the attack. This kind of thing is simply beyond his imagination. Previously, relying on his identity as a Konoha village think tank, he had thought of a lot about the relationship between Tsubai and Hinata in his mind. The detonator of human flesh. Intelligence spy. There were even assassinations. No. Things must not be that simple. Lu Ju thought quickly, and said again, this may be an ordinary conversation between Hinata and Shirayasha, they must have premeditated. We have to watch out. Master Third Hokage. Let's order more people to capture Hinata. It's a pity that Sarutobi Hiruzen interrupted Lu Ju with a wave of his hand. Wait a little longer, don't worry, maybe the current Hinata still doesn't know what Tsubai wants her to do. Third Hokage. Hyuga Hiyashi was quite moved when he heard this. But the faces of the others darkened instantly. Master Third Hokage. Now is not the time to be kind. This behavior is so indecisive. Asuma anxiously snuffed out the cigarette butt in her hand. He still knew more or less about his father. Especially with the growth of age, doing things has lost the sharpness of the past. Even scariest, Konoha village's ninja manual says it all. As a ninja, you cannot have any personal feelings. But the old Sarutobi Hiruzen has violated the rules of the ninja manual. Just when they were about to attack again, they heard Subai's voice coming from the crystal ball. It's time to come down. Wouldn't it be good to hide in the tree and sneak around? Subai can be different from Hinata. When he first stepped into the death forest, he checked everything around him with his white eyes. And Orochimaru, whom he wants to find. It turned out that, on top of her head stood Azuki Shion. There are also two genin-like ninjas in plain clothes with Konoha village forehead protector standing not far from Inuzuka Fang and Aburame Shino. This is obviously Azuki Shion's companion. The purpose of the behavior is to monitor Hinata. Thinking of this, Subai did not forget to look to the Konoha village Hokage office in the southwest direction with his supercilious eyes. According to Subai's eyesight now, he can already see what happened in Hokage's office. A group of people gathered around Sarutobi Hiruzen, and at the center of them was a crystal ball on a table. Aren't you coming down yet? Since all of you are here to spy on Hinata, in that case, I think that little old man Sarutobi Hiruzen is also spying on Hinata with the telescope technique. Impossible. Subai's words immediately shocked Azuki Shion on the tree. Horror immediately appeared on her face. Not only Azuki Shion, Sarutobi Hiruzen in Hokage's office. Take a break. Stand up straight away. The old face is also unbelievable. Impossible, how could he know what we are doing now? No. Why does he know my ninjutsu? Sarutobi Hiruzen was extremely surprised. Telescope technique is something that only those he trusts know. In front of ordinary ninjas, Sarutobi Hiruzen would never perform this technique. After all, bad influence. For a moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen was distraught. He kept re-analyzing all the information he had obtained about Subai in his mind. Combined with what Yu Hahong once said, Subai may know about the Chunin exam. Could he be one of these ninjas from the village who took the Chunin exam? Sarutobi Hiruzen dare not deny this idea. He did convey the news to other ninja villages in advance. It is also possible that Subai knew in advance. No. Even if he is from another ninja village, it is impossible to know my telescope technique. And why did he choose to appear in the dead forest? After thinking for a long time, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly became clear. The dead forest has long been the site of the Chunin exams in Konoha village. Although the joint Chunin examination has been restarted in recent years, the internal selection of Chunin in Konoha village has not been left behind. Combine it all. He even thinks that Subai used to be a ninja from Konoha village. And is the right-hand man of the root organization Shimura Danzo. Otherwise, it is impossible to know the technique of your own telescope. Especially recalling the love-hate relationship between myself and Danzo. It is very likely that Danzo told Subai everything about himself. Master Third Hokage. At this time, everyone was a little anxious. They even didn't expect that Subai would know Sarutobi Hiruzen so well. Etc. Suddenly, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't know what he wanted to do. With a big wave of his hand, he scolded everyone present. Wait a little longer, I want to see what he wants to do. Chapter 59. Azuki Shion who fell into the hands of Subai again. Picture. Some people want to see the picture of Hinata, but the ones that can pass are not worth looking at, and the rest feel that they can't pass, and it's not clear whether this Tsunade's picture can be kept. Close black lens bracket. Maoyu Shion's small mouth twitched slightly. In desperation, he jumped in front of Subai. Her appearance surprised Hinata. Hinata's heart sank instantly. She never expected that her whereabouts would be followed by other people in the village. For a moment, I was a little overwhelmed with fear. HMPH. Long time no see, Shiroyasha. What is the purpose of your presence in Konoha village this time? Azuki Shion's face was full of frost, staring at Subai vigilantly. Seeing this, Subai spread his hands slightly. Let's see if you have learned how to make up. But it's okay, at least I know how to put on lipstick. Azuki Shion. Nonsense, just plain nonsense. This beauty also touched her lipstick that night, but it was too late and you didn't see it. Azuki Shion spewed out several hot air from her nostrils, just about to refute some words. But I heard that Tsubai had turned his attention to Hinata. Hinata. You were careless this time, but remember, no matter how excited you are when doing things in the future, you must check the surrounding environment. In order to avoid the existence of this little mouse again. Shi Yan. Everyone in Hokage's office. By the way, there are also big rats like Konoha village 3rd Hokage. As soon as Tsubai finished speaking, Shion retorted on the spot. Nonsense, Master 3rd Hokage didn't use the telescope technique to monitor Hinata. Sarutobi Hiruzen blushed. Very embarrassing. He complained in his heart that Shion talked too much. There is a feeling that there is no silver 300 taels here. But the conversation between Tsubai and Hinata is indeed like a teacher teaching a student again. This confuses Sarutobi Hiruzen even more. What puzzled him the most was that since Shion discovered the whereabouts of Tsubai and Hinata, it stands to reason that the first thing to do is to kill Shion. Why are you still in the mood to joke with Shion? Could it be that Tsubai is too confident in his own strength? With doubts, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes became more active, for fear of missing a sliver of information. All right. Hinata, don't blame yourself, it's still very good for your future. Tsubai touched Hinata's small head. But Hinata's expression didn't relax. She also recognized Shion in front of her, the Anbu member who went to rescue her that night. Although the other party was wearing a mask, it was easy to get around from her long purple hair. After all, in Konoha village, there are very few people with this hair color. Tsubai. Mr. Tsubai. Can you not hurt this sister, Hyuga Hinata's dilemma made Tsubai startled. Then he smiled and said, "Don't worry, I promise you I won't hurt her. You can go to the exam with peace of mind. Remember my words, but you must get good grades." That. Hyuga Hinata felt extremely uncomfortable. She really didn't expect that Tsubai would be bumped into by someone as soon as he entered the Death Forest. And this person was the one who mistakenly thought that Tsubai was going to hurt himself and save himself that night. In terms of emotion and reason, Hinata doesn't want Shion to have anything to do. Tsubai naturally knew Hinata's thoughts. It was good, but he thought it would be best for Hinata to be kind. Also, don't worry. I will definitely know about your performance. Go at ease. Tsubai pushed Hinata out. Signaled her to leave first. Hyuga Hinata had no choice but to walk in the direction of Inuzuka Fang and Aburame Shino with a feeling of uneasiness. After seeing Hinata leave, Tsubai's face darkened, and he looked at Azuki Shion. Seeing this, Shion's delicate body trembled in fright. What do you want to do? No. It's nothing, I just don't know if you know there is a throat lock technique. It's about strangling people to suffocation. During this suffocation process, certain organs function out of control. Do you want to feel it? Maoyu Shion heard the words and exclaimed, "What? You?" He took a few steps back in fright. See Tsubai walking towards her again. Shion's legs went limp and she sat on the ground paralyzed. Damn Shirayasha, what is he going to do to Shion? Third generation, I'm sorry, I'm going to save Shion. Yuhihong certainly knows what Tsubai's so-called skills are. The people present are also very clear. Of course Azuki Shion herself understood. This is not a question of whether to die or not, but mainly a question of face. Wait a minute, Red. Tsubai didn't do anything, just frightened Shi Yan. Sarutobi Hiruzen let out a long sigh. Hurriedly stopped Shihahong, and by the way cast her old eyes. You go and give one for nothing. Ah. Yuhihong looked back again and found out through the crystal ball. At this time, Tsubai pinched Shion's face with a teasing face, and was laughing at Shion's timidity. Evening Red. This behavior aroused even more dissatisfaction in Yuhihong's heart. With beautiful eyes, she stared angrily at Tsubai in the crystal ball. He secretly scolded the other party for being shameless. Well, I won't tease you anymore. It doesn't matter whether Sarutobi Hiruzen has transferred the observer's chakra to your side now. I just want to tell you one thing. Go back and tell your two companions, or ask them to go back and bring a word, if you prevent Hyuga Hinata from taking the Chunin exam. My next target will be Uzumaki Naruto. But I'm not interested in Naruto. Maybe I'll kill him on the spot. Tsubai paused, his expression instantly serious. You have to think about it before you act. Of course Azuki Shion knows who Uzumaki Naruto is. That's Nine Tails Jinchuriki in Konoha village. If this was caught and killed by Tsubai, wouldn't 4th Hokage waste his life in vain? Please mark this point. In fact, Naruto's identity is known to many people. This is the content in the original Itachi's true biography. Don't make trouble because of this. It's not just a 4th Hokage thing. Konoha village lost the tail beast, that's a big deal. Shion pointed at Tsubai angrily, and was about to say something, but was interrupted by Tsubai. I don't care that Sarutobi Hiruzen monitors me. You can now go back and deliver messages to your companions, and if Sarutobi Hiruzen wants to monitor me with the telescope technique, then you will follow me and be their eyes. That's it. You make up your mind quickly. I'm very busy. I'll just wait for you here for 3 minutes. Chapter 60. Hong, you are still too young. Hong, what you said seems to make sense. Threats, blatant threats. Everyone present at Hokage's office is of course aware of the importance of Uzumaki Naruto to Konoha village. If, as Tsubai said, the next target is Uzumaki Naruto, that would be really troublesome. Master 3rd Hokage. This. Even Nara Shirju, the brains of Konoha village, couldn't think of a solution at this time. It wasn't Tsubai's force that bothered them the most. It's Tsubai's elusive space-time ninjutsu. In case he suddenly appeared beside Naruto, take Naruto away directly. Or kill Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto as Jinchuriki dies once he appears. The 9 tails in his body will naturally die together. When 9 tails reappears in the ninja world, the whole ninja world will be in chaos. Other villages will not sit idly by either. Of course, it's even more unlikely that they will give up 9 tails to Konoha village. Especially once 9 tails falls into the hands of Cloud Shinobi village. Then Cloud Shinobi village will inevitably launch the ninja war again. As the only way to change Jinchuriki. The patriarchs of other families also began to whisper. But for things like Jinchuriki, how can it be as simple as talking? Just touch the upper lip and the lower lip, and you can change it. Just kidding. Why? When everyone panicked, Hyuga Hiyashi let out a long sigh. With a little sadness, he said, "It's our Hyuga family who are sorry for everyone in the village. I blame myself for giving birth to a child like Hinata. The only way now is to be able to deal with Shiroyasha. Let's go ambush now." Asuma lit a cigarette again. He was right. If there is no way to solve the problem, then solve the person who raised the problem. Apparently Tsubai was the one who gave them the Konoha village problem. It's a pity that as soon as Asuma finished speaking, he was refuted by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Which one of you is sure that he can kill him with one blow? As long as Tsubai is allowed to flee back, then our Konoha village will face unseen and intangible revenge. That's the scariest thing. However, at this time, Kurenai Yuhi bravely stepped forward and said, "Master 3rd generation, when we went to rescue Hinata that night, our cooperation was perfect. It's just that there is no particularly powerful force to kill it. As long as we come again." Just in the middle of Yuhi Hong's words, Sarutobi Hiruzen's old face shrugged, and his eyes were slightly raised to look at Yuhi Hong. He said lightly, "Hong, you are still too young and lack practical combat experience. You were all played by Tsubai that night. He deliberately exposed his flaws to let you rescue Hinata." As soon as this remark came out, Yuhi Hong was stunned on the spot. These words were obviously to refute her face. How could the hot-tempered Yuhi Hong be able to bear it? Immediately asked back, "Master 3rd generation, why do you say that?" Snort. Sarutobi Hiruzen snorted coldly, sighed, and then showed a gentle smile again. "I don't mean that you can't. I think it's good that he did it because he didn't want us to torture Hinata too much. Made the Hokage of Konoha village for decades. The things and methods Sarutobi Hiruzen experienced are naturally much more colorful than the people in front of him. Many things may not be clear at the moment. But if they are connected slowly, he thinks he can see through everything. I said don't worry. And Hiyashi, don't define Hinata so hastily. Now let's see what Tsubai wants to do when he comes to our Konoha village. Sarutobi Hiruzen stared at the crystal ball. I'm back. After Azuki Shion delivered the message, she returned to Tsubai's side again. I told my companion. Everything is going according to plan, they are in charge of keeping an eye on Hinata. Will not interfere with her taking the Chunin exam. Azuki Shion didn't say much. In order to avoid causing her companions to panic, she did not tell them that Tsubai had come to the Forest of Death. As a member of Anbu, he will execute the order after receiving it. Too many things will not be asked. Even if you are suspicious, it is impossible to do too many things beyond the scope of the order. Then let's go. Tsubai didn't say much to Shion. Her behavior has proved everything. Sarutobi Hiruzen has placed the lens of the telescope technique on Yugao's side according to Chakra's tracking. The purpose is to detect Tsubai. These things are very tacit and do not need to be conveyed through any words. Hey, what are you doing? Shion didn't expect that after Tsubai finished speaking, she would hug her up. This move made Maoyu Shion anxious and shy. His arms pushed and shoved a few times indiscriminately. Be honest. I said I'm in a hurry. If you can't keep up with my speed, how will Sarutobi Hiruzen detect me? This. Tsubai's words immediately made Maoyu Shion calm down. Right. Mission comes first. She must be aware that the current target of Sarutobi Hiruzen's observation has been placed on Tsubai. It was hard to seize an opportunity to spy on his intelligence. Never fail because of personal reasons. Oh. Tsubai's action speed is really fast. The flickering figure in the crystal ball couldn't help Sarutobi Hiruzen's side. It's really like what Tsubai said, Shion's speed alone can't keep up with the opponent. Snort. This by Yasha, he clearly wants to take advantage of Shiyan. Yuhihong hugged her hands on her chest in displeasure. He looked at Tsubai in the picture indifferently. A look of contempt. Kurenai Yuhi's words made Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes light up. It seems to have obtained extremely important information. This seems to be the breakthrough. People. Fear of not having something to like. Once there is a way to deal with it.